It almost didn't happen because my internet turned off today while I was on Shadow's show. In the middle of hearing them say something, it just turned off. And we eventually got in contact with the internet provider, and they're like, yeah, it's going to be out until 10. And so that we weren't real happy about that. So I went and just read, sit down and did some reading, and it came on early. So yay, hooray for that! It came back, but sketchy ass internet being sketchy. I am still organizing things, and that basically means what I'm doing is I'm using those big multi-compartment like hobby kits, like the Flambeau Zarist whatever compartment, the ones where you can move like walls around to make compartments bigger or smaller. And I'm organizing them by monster type. So this one here is getting ready to have to be emptied and then repurposed to what I'm doing. Now, let's see here. Also, hello to all of the guys on Discord that have been chatting me up. Appreciate you guys. I don't know what the hell this is. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what any of this is. Huh. I dumped over a container full of miniatures and, it hit the floor. So these kind of boxes, basically. And I'm either using the dividers that come with it, but unfortunately, I must have thrown some of those away. So I've been making my own out of bits of polystyrene plastic. And then, like, the miniatures that are in it that I'm going to, whatever, they're just going to go in another, hobby container for a while. That's a lot, or I'll get rid of them, because a lot of these miniatures, again, are miniatures that I'm kind of dividing out the miniatures I use versus the miniatures I don't actually ever use, and then I'll get rid of the latter. Happy Monday to you, Daniel. How are you doing, sir? So I forgot all about chat for a while. Let's see. Hopefully this computer won't freak out like it did last time. Has a real issue with the camera, and I'm wondering if it's a heat thing, if it's overheating. So it's on a cool pad right now. So we'll see. See, I'm going to have a completely different container for player characters and things that go with player characters. Like this riding mammoth goes with player characters, as does this Hyperborean sorcerer. So I got to deal with that. That's cool. We use these, believe it or not. We actually use these on the table. Sometimes, recently, I got my hands on a dice tower. I think I've showed it off. And the girls really, really like the dice tower. So they use the hell out of that thing. So let's see what's down here. Oh my God. Look at this guy. This is like a 1980s summoner. Is that a summoner or is that Loki. Now that's a Sumner. The Loki's got the offset turret. It's like an 80s or 90s, whenever the Clan came out. One. Guess I'll just put that aside for now. This should be in the terrain box. See, I find stuff. Found like 3 unopened boxes or bags full of cheap dice. A whole German army for like World War II. So yeah, pretty interesting. I've got this set of Inner Sphere Assault Lance that I need to deal with. Cold Iron's box, I need to get these sent out. I've got a couple I will eventually get sent out. Oh, man. I am the most unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian. Anyway, to quote the old drill from Full Metal Jacket, you were nothing but a grabastic piece of amphibian shit. Okay, we got a witch here. I need to actually put detail on her, but yeah. She's pretty much half naked witch over here. I got my apes. Aping it up. Pretty good, pretty glad, pretty happy. Got my apes. Need my apes. Found my square. I was looking for it last time I was talking. Got my square. So that's good. We are ready to roll. Ready to roll. So let's see here. Except before we roll, I am going to glue a pile of skeletons onto this Hydra's base. Just because. Just a big old pile of skeletons. Just glue it right on there. Now I might put some grass stuffs on too. Just to make it look a little better, you know. All right. You want to play games? We can play games. We can play all kinds of games. There we go. That's right. I keep some channel locks. If the super glue decides to want to act up, I let it know how it's going to be. So yeah, I went into the room after, and I read the module. It's an old Savage Swords of Hyperborea module. The Blind Worm, something, Tomb of the Blind Worm or Sepulchre of the Blind Worm or something, just to get my handle on that. But yeah, it's an old one. I wonder if they'll redo it for 3rd edition. Never know, right? So also, I think I might showed you guys this. I've had this for a long time now, and I haven't painted it yet. But we all know who that's supposed to be. But I think I'll find a place in my Hyperborea game for that guy. He looks like he could go in there somewhere, you know. Okay, so right here next to me, I've got my big old box full of tufts and stuff. Yeah, it sucked that the internet went out today. We were having a really good discussion about stuff. Especially since I was telling, see, here is one of the boxes I was using to store miniatures. And while I'm sitting here, I see that there's some things that can go in there. So I've got a big container or a big opening here just for the undead. So I'll still have to like kind of sort through the undead to get the actual undead I might want, right? But at least I will know where they all are. They'll all be right there together. I'll be able to pick them all up and just, be like, okay, here we go, undead. And then the player characters are going to go in their own box. So let's see. These are all players. These are gnolls. Gnolls, I will have to actually look and see. I don't think I have room in this box for the gnolls. I've got a lot of the bad boys. Now, I do got a compartment in the box for the apes. And here's a... Hey, what's up, Crafting Gamer? And my brother, hey. So this guy is a four-armed carnivorous ape. And he can go in the box along with all of his friends when I get them done. Now, the thing is, I did get a thing. And it came in shortly after I got home. And I think we might want to look at it. I have all these plastic boxes around me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm like completely. Okay. I don't want caps locked. Nope. Okay. I'm completely like, let's try and put me in the center. See, yeah, my little work table over here, my "Don't Wake the Bear" sign, and my collection of unpainted freaking Titans. I've got like 12. That aggravates me. Most of them were gifts. I've got many of them, and I need to straighten that out. Earlier, I did manage to clean out a storage container I had, and put the stuff I wanted in smaller containers. It ain't almost bedtime. Don't be that way, bro. I got shit to show you, man. So here's another one of these, and it's got like the big thing, and then it's got the smaller areas, but you don't put any, like, there's no dividers. And this thing I'm going to end up using for probably more monsters. It's mostly full of monsters anyway, and some dice. Oh, yeah, a lot of trolls in there. I see, and muskox. So my brother, I see that. Yeah, my internet was dead all day. From like.
I'll come on for a few minutes, but it is getting close.
It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Look what I got.
Nice. Guess what I'm watching?
Mentalone 2, the KY connection.
Close. Golden Age arc.
Oh, shut up. Why you try to insult me like that?
Well, Griffith's on there, so it is kind of close.
Well, yeah, Griffith is pretty much a down for whatever kind of guy, ain't he?
Yeah, he's an equal opportunity.
He certainly is. You know what the sad thing about him is?
What's that?
He don't love anybody, though.
He loves himself.
I guess. Because, that's the thing with Griffith, isn't it? He'll sleep with whomever he needs to sleep with if that will get his objective going. But he doesn't actually care about anyone. Like, he didn't give a shit about Casca. He didn't give a shit about Guts, really.
I actually feel kind of bad for Griffith.
How? That's like feeling bad for, I don't know, the devil.
No, Griffith ain't the devil.
He might as well be.
He's devil-esque.
He's definitely devil adjacent.
He is devil adjacent.
Actually, no, he becomes the devil. So I'm gonna backtrack on that.
He is the devil.
Pimco is literally a demon.
You put that pin on your hat. Nice.
You gave it to me. I put it on my hat. So yeah, I don't know how you argue that. But so what were you gonna say? I'm interested.
Nothing.
Well, then that's a lot less interesting.
I just came on to say hi to you because I hadn't talked to you since yesterday.
I know. Well, I mean, I thought you had thoughts and opinions about stuff. Apparently, I'm wrong.
I try my best not to.
I find it best to stay out of other people's business or other people's affairs.
Exactly.
Um, well, that's unfortunate. I want you to be in my affairs.
Well, I'm in your
You can blend
affairs.
up like some really dark poop looking, like brown green
I've been just hanging out, you know,
to
and
paint
I'm
this
always
freaking crayfish.
I'm always in your affairs because I always got your back.
Right. See that? See that?
Yeah, great. I
Giant
can't wait.
crawfish jumping out of the water.
I can't wait for everybody in the party to run from that.
You might not run.
Hmm.
You might not be able to. Depends on how the surprise roll goes, right?
Yep.
You might jump out and just be like, I got you, bitch. Pull a Dave Chappelle on you. So I bought those toys like you find at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check that out.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Squirrel.
I think I got 3 of these big ass scorpions.
There with your camera.
Yeah, there it went. Just that quick, huh?
Yeah. Did you get that message from Cold Iron Skillet today with those minis?
Yeah, he was showing me where STLs were.
Yeah, those are badass minis.
Yes, that's Crippled God or whatever it is. And that's who made this. And I think I know his name starts with a Z and a Y, like Zygon or something.
That's just freaking freaky.
Well, you know, in the Adventure of the Lost City,
Yeah.
if you go far enough under the Lost City, he's there.
Yeah.
And that's why there's like the cults of the 3 gods, but then there's that extra cult that wears the masks with the tentacles. Yeah, that's him. But how you doing, Squirrel? So I need to, while I'm sitting here, I think I'm going to give this
James, how you
Frankenstein
doing, buddy?
I think I'm going to give this Frankenstein some blue pants.
Nice. James Lowry came on to say hello.
Who did?
James Lowry.
James. Big James. What's up, Big James? I always call him Big James. Even though in real life, I have no idea if he's bigger than me or not, but I don't care. Oh, the company I ordered stuff from sent me a. Guess who that is?
I can't see it. Lower it a little bit. That's Princess Donut.
It's Princess Donut. Yes. I have a miniature of Princess Donut sitting on a throne with her little crown. Which I only know who it is because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of my sister-in-law convincing me to look into Dungeon Crawler Carl. Otherwise, I would have no idea. I'd be like, but you know, that's a good miniature because even if I'd never heard of Dungeon Crawler Carl or Princess Donut,
You'd still want that?
it's a cat on a throne with a crown. You know, so it's not really a wasted mini. You can always find some way to use a miniature cat wearing a crown on a throne. You know, you could say that maybe hell, you could say anything. You could say that some ruler of some city or town. Yeah, I got the Zygon miniature. Used to be able to get it a long, long time ago, but the company that used to sell it no longer sells it, Big James. So I had to get it from Greece. And let me tell you, the company I got it from in Greece, the shipping was high. They had that shit here in a week. So they were motivated to make that sell. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
And
yeah.
so I put a like on their store because I mean, they do a lot of the Crippled God Foundry miniatures, which are all like a lot of the Cthulhu shit, right? And they're the only ones who do because you've got to buy the license, right, to be able to sell the miniatures. And for some reason, no one in America, I guess, has really. Not for some of them, but not for all of them. And yeah, so these guys, man, the shipping's expensive, but the miniatures are cheap. So it's kind of like, how you want to go about this, right?
I love a company that is motivated to get you their stuff.
Dude, not only did I get the Zygon, they're the ones that gave me the Princess Donut. Or yeah. And they gave me another miniature too. And it was like free just for you written on the little padded containers. And I mean, so what would I say? It was an amazingly good experience buying miniatures, you know?
Yeah.
And even though those 3D printed miniatures they gave me for free probably cost them like 3 cents.
It's
That's
still
okay though, you know, because it
customer
made me feel
appreciation.
good, you know.
Customer appreciation. It don't cost a lot to make a customer happy.
That's a fact. And so the Greek company, Crippled God or whatever, they will hook you up. Now the other thing, you know how I've been talking about getting blimmies.
Yeah.
There's one lady on she's in New York. She's got her store that has a blimmy, but it's a giant. I mean, this thing's like 8 inches tall, right? And so I sent her, I was like, is there any way I could get you to resize that blimmy? She's like, well, what size do you want? I said, an inch, maybe an inch and a half at most. And I'm looking to get between 10 and 20. So she sent me back. She did the whole where you go into the chitta box or whatever, and she did everything and
Yeah.
resized it all. And she's like, yeah, I'll get you a custom, you know, but she's talking maybe $3 a miniature. And that would be really kind of cool to have because you just don't see those.
Yeah.
And in Hyperborea, you would some places, and Saturn is loaded with them, which they call like Crash or whatever. And who knows, your group could one day go to Saturn. I don't know what you'll do. So
We
I
don't know
want,
what we'll do.
there's no telling, right? So I want some of those badass, you know, weird things. And this lady is definitely working with me to make it happen. And I thought about it and I'm like, well, she's just smart. Because
Yeah.
by taking the time to go on Chitterbox and do the few whatever she's got to do, right? To make those things so that I can buy them, she's going to end up making $30+ off grid. What up, dude?
I'll be right back, bub.
Okay. Which is 100% as a small business owner what you want. So I guess the moral of the story, guys, is I've had some exceptionally good customer service lately. You know, just like people going out of their way and being willing to go that extra mile to make sure I get things that I want that I can't get any other way. And yeah, that's made me really, really appreciative. The link is in the whatever. Not saying you got to join, just saying you can. You know, it's always an option. So we'll have our game Saturday. And I'll tell you, the hardest part I'm having as a DM right now running Hyperborea is like I have a dearth may not be the word. I'm dealing with an overabundance situation. Let's say it like that, an overabundance situation, because there are so many adventures that I could run. Just so many, right? And they're all really good. And I've set them all near enough to Chromarium that, the players will be able to get to the adventure sites relatively easy. I mean, not the Isle of Dread. That one's going to be hard because the island I picked for that is actually inside the Okeanos River or Orianos River, and that's always an issue, right? But there's a lot of adventures that happen within a day or two, basically under a week's march from Comorium. And the one of them, like the Tomb of the Blind Worm, that actually happens within a day or two's walk of Comorium. It happens right there in the Lug Wasteland. So, as I'm saying, it's like, and those of you who watch the videos I post, you'll see that I posted the Hamlet video. With a few of the changes that I suggested, that will fit literally anywhere on Hyperborea. And I'm sitting here thinking, if you just ever need a village for any reason, throw Hamlet on there. The thing I changed is the temple and the priest. That's Zastagwa, and the druid worships Yonde. And the reason I did it that way, those of you who know about Clark Ashton Smith's writing, is there is kind of a beef between the followers of Yonde and the followers of Tasagwa, or at least there was at one point, right? So
I'm back.
I was just reading. Squirrel Hermit's getting ready to get it on. Go Squirrel!
Hell yeah, squirrel!
Yeah.
Woo,
woo. Get your game going, homie.
Love you, buddy. I saw a dude with a fez the other day. Made me think of you.
So I'm happy you're getting your game going. We've of course had to have a break, and which sucks. I hate to miss more than a game.
Are we gaming this weekend? Please say yes.
We are. Absolutely. And next weekend, the sister and brother-in-law are coming, but they're going to show up Thursday and leave Friday. So gaming next weekend as well. We might be good for gaming undisturbed for quite a while. I think we've got a lot of the journeying about the whole walkabout thing we were doing out of our system for a while.
I've got the kitten in my room with me right now.
I know I've gotten it out of my system. I hope the wife has as well, because
I know I've got it out of my system.
Yeah.
I had to go grocery shopping today, and it was horrible.
Shut up. But anyway,
no.
You come on here just to instigate, don't you? You know you do.
Yeah.
So
I'm the chaotic neutral, baby.
Chaotic neutral doesn't exist in Hyperborea.
It exists in my world.
Yeah, but we're playing Hyperborea, no chaotic neutral.
No, hush.
Because remember, there's no lawful or chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
There's only neutral. So you're either lawful good, lawful evil, chaotic good, chaotic evil, or neutral. That's it. 5 alignments.
I'm neutral.
I think your character is actually neutral.
Yep. I do
which
what I
is
want.
The most common alignment for humans of all types, and also the alignment of Zasagwa, who you are a priest of. So that makes
perfect sense.
Yeah, because me and Sagwa, we do what we want.
Yeah. Well, I think the deal with him is he's just so lazy. He does, I don't know, stuff maybe. Maybe. Is it like,
Are you going to log on to Conan anytime soon?
yes. I haven't though because of the whole
Internet and traveling, yeah.
being, yeah, in other states. You figure in the last week I've been in 3 or 4 states at least. You know.
Yeah, you've been in 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's about enough for me for a while, like I said,
Yeah,
I'm not saying forever, but for a while.
that's understandable, homie.
So
Did you have a good time up in Kentucky hanging out with your brother?
yeah, you missed the part where I ran up the hill and
Fell down the hill?
I didn't fall down. I did kind of almost lose my balance and I threw my arm around a tree
Came home scraped up.
and it was a really rough barked oak tree and it just tore all the hide right off of me.
And what was really smart is you not taking a water bottle with you.
Yeah, well, you know what was even smarter?
Walking up that hill.
I got about a quarter of the way up and realized I had to use the bathroom really bad.
Did you come home with one sock?
No, no, I held it, but man, it was a challenge. So that's what happened. I mean,
We're
would I
too
do
old
it
for that.
again? Absolutely.
We're like Danny Glover and Lethal Weapon, brother.
Like I would not. Too old for this shit.
Yeah, we're too old for this shit.
No, I wouldn't change a damn thing I did. I'd have done it again. Next time I go up there, I might do it again.
You might do it twice just to show
The
you.
worst thing that can happen is I could have a heart attack on the side of the mountain and die.
That'd be a hell of a way to go, though, wouldn't it?
And I'd be okay with that. I mean, assuming eventually somebody finds me so that I don't get ate by a bunch of raccoons and coyotes.
Well, that's a manly way to go.
But yeah, right? People be like, this guy died climbing his mountain. What do you say about that?
I
He's
say,
up there
I'll be back in a second. I'm going to take Corn Dog's kid. Come do with his little ass for a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't hear hardly any of that. So the rest of you guys out there, I do have an unboxing thing. I've had it like all day and haven't unboxed it yet. Maybe I should have put down an unboxing. So grab a knife, twist it up, make sure it's tight. Yeah, he packaged this thing up. He wanted to make sure, it's like there's as much paper on it or tape on it. Zadarok the elbow right there. It just tucked the first or maybe the second layer of hide off. It's been over a week now, or hell, a couple of days at least. I don't know. And I put some antibiotic on it and kept it bandaged for a while, and now it's good.
We've had much worse.
Yeah, I've had so much worse. Yeah. Also, remember, I did work for years as a paramedic, so I knew exactly what was up. I was like, all right. Yeah.
Nothing is going to ever be worse than the Great Sledding Incident of 1982.
I still got the scar on the inside of my leg where I laid my leg up against that red hot muffler on that freaking dirt bike. And it tucked like a patch, like a round patch, and the scar's still there. So this is what I ordered. This is you can't see it, so I'll just read it. the Conan Hyperborean Age role-playing game miniature box.
Nice.
And what it comes with is 26 heroes, 31 antagonists, 165 minions, and 32 pieces of scenery.
Nice.
So when it says minions, it means 5 archer, 5 of Balet's guard, 10 cultists, 10 ghouls, 5 deep dwellers, so deep ones, 5 gray man apes. I'm looking for the blue man apes. No. 15 guards with halberds, 5 guards with an alternative pose, 5 hyenas, 10 mummies with sword, and then we've got 10 more mummies with 2 alternative poses. We got 5 picks with bows, 15 picks with axes, and then 5 picks with 2-handed hammers. So 20 picks, 15 pirates with sword, and then 5 with sword and axe. We got 20 skeleton, 25, 5 with sword and shield, spear, and then 5 with axe. So 5 with axe, 15 with spear, and 5 with sword and shield. And then 10 tentacles. Because that one crazy kind of purple blue thing I have with all the tentacles, there's one.
You gotta have tentacles, man.
Well, there's one in here. And it's basically you've got this, which is the body of the thing, right? So you see how it's got a bunch of glowing green eyes and that big maw.
Yeah.
And then there's like 20 tentacles that go around it.
I know what that thing is.
So
I've got to buy Castle. I put it on my order. I just need to go ahead and pay for it. Yeah, Escape the Dark Castle.
Oh, okay. The game, not an actual. Because I was going to tell you, I saw a 3D printed castle for sale on Amazon by one of those companies like Ender Games or whatever, and it was under $100. It's a big freaking castle.
Yeah, I'm thinking I got the Escape the Dark Castle, the base game, and the 3rd expansion in my shopping cart.
Nice. Let's see if I can get this stuff out. So we've got a box A here. So let's look in box A, guys. There's a box B and a box A. So
what's in the box?
What's in the box? So this is how this opens, right? So this is what we are working with.
Holy moly.
And it goes layers, 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 because this box is supposed to give you every kind of figure you would ever need to play a game of Conan. And since Conan and Hyperborea are effectively, well, they are the same world, that means that these miniatures give you, or this box set gives you every miniature you would ever need to play Hyperborea. Like these guards with halberds, depending on how I paint them up, they could be the city guard for Cromarian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And picks are picks, and Hyperborea is crawling with them. And they're not nice.
Hyperborea is just lousy with picks.
Well, they have the Pictish coast or whatever, and it's just like a good place to go if you're wanting to get thrown onto the old campfire. Because the thing with the picks is they interbreed with the devil swine, and that's why you have all the pig-faced orcs.
They sure are hungry.
And the pig-faced orcs give birth in litters, and they tend to be ready to fight combat. They tend to be battle ready about the age of 10. So they're actually, in a lot of ways, superior to their neighboring humans. Now, that's weird. These are the larger miniatures, obviously. And for some reason, there's just a random camel and it's white.
Nice.
It's like everything's gray. And then, hey, have a random white camel. Oh, there's a avatar of Mitra. And since you play, you know all about that, don't you?
Yeah.
The avatars.
I'm still a Sedite, though.
Well, I'm just saying there's an actual avatar of Mitra here.
Yeah, those guys
Giant
can be.
Stygian spider. There's a giant snake. A bunch of apes because you never got enough apes. Some kind of giant lizard. I would call it dragon. Just because. From now on, I think I'm going to call everything that's a dinosaur a dragon.
Yeah.
And then here's all of your good guys and bad guys. The gray ones are bad guys.
Yeah, I've been fighting those a lot on Conan XLs.
Every version of Conan they ever made is in here.
That's awesome.
Oh, there's a third person up. Sorry, whoever's trying to join. I'm not trying to ignore you. I was too busy doing stuff and didn't even notice.
White Camel.
It is a Bruce. Oh, look at that.
What is happening, Bruce?
An amazing shirt from an amazing author and creator. Gentlemen, how are you?
I just that picture was sent to me by the man, the myth, and the legend, Code Iron Skillet.
He is a scholar.
Yeah, we got some wizards. We got some black dudes. That would be Ballet's guard. We got Ballet, naked as hell.
As she should be.
We got a giant lion.
What did you get? We're from where? Where did you get that from?
Monolith Games. And then the whole top row is mostly just different Conans.
Monolith Games?
Yeah.
You guys make the board game.
Yep. These are all the miniatures they've made over the years for the board game. Just in one package.
Did they wait, when did they set that out? When did that come to fruition?
Relatively recently, because this is actually being marketed as the miniature box set for the role-playing game, which I have on PDF and on the way here.
Yeah, but we're still going to play Hyperborea.
Of course we are. But, I mean, the Conan role-playing game came out.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're
if it's
Conan, though. You see what I mean?
Yeah, if
That's
it's Conan, we want it.
Hyperborea is Conan.
I know this. I'm just saying, if it's Conan, we want it.
So that's what I picked up, and it came pretty quick. Monolith Games. It's about 300 miniatures in there.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I have 2 of the box sets. I need to get the other 2.
Well,
I do
a lot of the miniatures you got in the box sets are reproduced in here. There's pigs. Okay. There's the guys with the halberds. There's pirates. There's the giant tentacle monster.
There's the lions, 80.
I'm not upset about this, but I got to ask you, why do you not have your chat up?
What?
Your chat. I don't see your chat here.
I see his chat. You got to hit
on.
You got to hit that little middle button on your thingamajig.
Like Squirrel Hermit just wrote that the white camel shall be called Joe. So, yeah. Squirrel, I don't know if you remember, but I remember when all my buddies way back in the day were like doing everything they could to collect those freaking Joe Camel points or whatever.
Yeah, Camel Cash to get all the Joe Camel stuff. That shit is like super collectible now.
Is it?
Yeah, seriously.
Because I know my bro Marcus, he had like the freaking ashtray and like
I had a complete collection of the Zippos and I lost them, which makes me mad.
Yeah, that's not awesome. So, yeah, I wish you'd been with me on the ride home after we dropped you off. Which would have been very self-defeating of the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had a lot of fun. I just wish you had been there.
We always have fun together, brother.
And we played, I think we played Dark Castle a few more times. And
that game's awesome.
That is. You know, that's actually been around for a long time. I didn't know that. but it's not a new game. That game,
No,
like the
Dark
one
Castle
we
was
had,
what,
is on the
85?
8th printing.
Wasn't that 85 when it came out or 83?
Dude, I don't even know. I never even saw it, never even heard of it. My sister-in-law, who is also a hardcore gamer, brought it around and was like, "You'll like this game," and we played it, and I was like, "Well, you're right. Turns out that I do like this game." And so the wife and I, started playing the game and everything like that. So uh, the last day we were up in Georgia in Jackson, we actually played with the expansions. So like I ended up with the plague, and there's is a mess. There was a whole mess, but it was a lot of fun. So,
I'm sad I missed the goulash.
you're sitting on. Is that what you named your cat, Mr. Goulash?
No, I said I'm sad I missed the goulash. My cat's name is Lord Chungus, ruler of all I see.
Oh, well, you didn't miss Goulash.
Monster didn't make it.
No, she never was going to make goulash, goofball. She made beef stroganoff.
Oh, stroganoff. Yeah, I'm sad I missed that too.
Well, you should be. It was good. It was really good. And then the next day, Pops made some steaks.
Nice. I had steak for lunch today.
So I had steak and sweet potato. It was pretty nice.
I had steak for lunch and chicken and rice for dinner.
Well, chicken and rice, good for you.
Yeah.
See, I almost made some chicken just now, but I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I gotta wake up at 3.
Yeah.
Hey, that's better than midnight, or actually 11 p.m., which is my usual wake time. But we have a big account we got to take care of, and I told the boss, I'm like, I want to just get this one account done tomorrow, or as much as we can get done, and maybe have to slide it to Wednesday. But fuck everybody else. No offense, these guys pay on time every fucking month.
Right.
I need that.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, I see your point. I'm like, okay, I'll take care of everything else on Wednesday and Thursday, and if we got to push it off next week, you'll push it off next week, or I'll work Friday. I don't give a shit, but I really want Friday off because I work a lot
I'm
of
glad
Fridays.
you dropped in then. If you have to leave.
Wait, you got to leave? No, I don't got to leave yet. It's
I thought that's why
8:36.
you're telling me about having to get up early.
It's only 8:00 where he is.
Right. Okay. Good.
Yeah, I got a few
It's
hours.
been a while,
couple
Bruce.
hours.
Your schedule's not meshing too well with mine, unfortunately.
I know. I miss hanging out with you, and like the early afternoons. If I get a chance, I listen to your stuff, but I can't text and drive.
Right. I wouldn't want you to. Yeah, I watched you the other night. Well, actually, it was Kai, but you were on there.
Kai's musings.
Yeah, he was musing about stuff.
Yeah, we had a little bit back and forth, but I think that was one of the better ones I've done with him. I'm not a really good host after I've already done a show, and
Right.
sometimes I get winded or fatigued, and I just
Right.
sit back and let him talk because he's going at 80 miles per hour.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't mind listening to him talk. And when I've joined the stream with you two, I mean, I've always had a pretty good time,
He loves having you around because you're you remind us of the guys that were at our store in Washington. We used to have like a quarter to a third of the Judges Guild people hang out with us in Peoria, Illinois.
Right.
And you remind us a lot of like Dave Serene and the other guys that were from there. But a lot of Dave Serene, he would have been a good friend of yours.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I'm that guy. I don't even know who they are, but I'm pretty much a good friend of anybody that's nice to me.
True.
That's always kind of been my whole jam.
Yeah, if you're cool with me, I'm cool with you.
Yeah, always. And I don't even care about
Yeah,
Like
as long
nothing
as
else matters to me. Like I don't care what your politics are or your sexuality or any of that shit. If you are nice to me, I guarantee you I will be nice to you.
as
That's
long as you
just
don't mind
always
me
been my
calling, as long as you don't mind me calling you the N word, we're gonna get along great.
Oh, I love dropping the N bombs. Those are my favorite.
Well, the thing is, that's what my brother feels like is my nickname.
He was called that more over the weekend than he's ever
Oh my
been called
God.
in his
I was
life.
starting to be offended. I was like, hold on here. It's like I walk into the room and it's like, what's up? And I'm just like, I just turn around and go back. Like, I don't know what's happening. I feel like I'm being racially profiled or something by my own brother, no less. I could have told my mom on him since she was there, but I didn't. I just let it slide, you know. But he was I will chalk it up to he was just really excited to see me.
That is 100% true.
You know, and you know how people get when they really have to see you, they just can be away. And I only get that way with my wife.
It was a term. It's a term of endearment.
I took it as such. See, right now there might be people in the chat that are thinking, "Oh my God," but I absolutely took it as you like. I didn't take it as an insult at all. You know, I was just like, yeah, whatever. Okay.
Well, I was just so happy to see you.
But you know, I do the same thing, except I do it on the DL because I like to call everybody homie or bro. And let's be honest, homie.
I call
If you
everybody.
want to argue about it, homie is pretty adjacent. But I just always like to call the people that I like homie. Like, what up, homie?
I don't mean it as an insult at all.
I know that. I wouldn't run around shouting it just out of the side window of the car, though, because a lot of people either they don't understand that you don't mean it in a bad way, or they don't want to understand. That's the issue. You know, a lot of people use that because there's a power that comes along with the offended part. So, yeah, I wouldn't just run around shouting that shit out.
I'm falling asleep, brother.
Okay. What's that got to do with me?
I love you.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
He didn't even finish the saying. I feel
always
bad.
have.
Yeah, there you go. At some point, my brother and I started saying that we loved each other like freaking Braveheart.
I love you.
I love you. Always have. Always will. You know, it's a nice bitter rain, mostly coming down. A little slanty like, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
Like, I know that movie is not historically accurate. I still like it.
That movie is historically accurate. It's a great fucking movie.
It is, isn't it? It's just like, yeah.
I saw the best.
I'm from Ireland, except I'm not on my island or some shit.
Pities to be.
Yeah, more's the pity, he says.
You're mad, yeah, that I'm in the right company.
Right.
I saw the greatest thing ever today. It was the coffee scene from Pulp Fiction, but it was with Muppets.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. They have like all of Pulp Fiction with Muppets. They have the burger scene with Muppets.
That's great.
And the one I saw was like Kermit and Fozzie walk into the room, and you've got the guys in there, and it's like the other Muppets, some of them, right? I didn't recognize some of them. And they go through the whole scene.
Nice.
And Fozzie's doing the talking, and Kermit's just kind of hanging out. So Kermit is being Travolta, and Fozzie is being Sam-El. And, you know, it's just like, okay. But everything's bare with Muppets anyway, and everybody knows that. You know, Muppet Treasure Island. Muppet.
All right. Good night, my brother. I love you, Bruce.
Good night. Love you too.
Oh, God bless you, man. It's always good to see you.
Always good to see you, buddy.
Thank you.
But one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time is Muppet Christmas.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Hope you're having a great evening. Peace, love, and chicken grease.
Chicken grease, huh?
And what do they say in France?
Assalamu alaikum.
Allah Akbar.
Alaikum assalam.
All right, good night, everybody.
Or you can say shalom alaikum.
So today I wore your brother's shirt of you dressed up like Toe Cutter or Humongous.
Yeah.
Lord Humongous.
Cold Iron does a great job, and he's currently doing stuff for Holy Diver. Because Holy Diver does his weekly show, My Penis is Dry, I think is the name of the show.
Huh.
And so, yeah, you got freaking Cold Iron, like putting him in situations where he's like having a picnic with anime chicks or whatever, you know. Or that one Japanese girl that Holy Diver always has, you know, shown. I don't even, her name is something like Ichibano Chan or something. It's just some Japanese model with really, you know, impressive.
I love the Japanese girls.
You wouldn't think Japanese girls would have, but this one has got those.
Oh no. The beauty standard in Japan is like to look like a 12-year-old boy. But that
I heard
makes
that
the door,
they actually dress to hide their curves.
and so the Japanese girls with the thickness come over to America, or they go to the Okinawa to the base to get some real deep dicking.
Oh, geez. Well, to meet a man. Gotcha. Sounded like Morty there for a second. I'm like, oh, geez. Grandpa Rick. But, yeah, I was looking at it like they were talking the new issue in Japan is that Japanese girls are trying very hard to look like Korean girls. Because apparently for East Asians, the Korean look is considered to be the most attractive look. Now, what do I know about this? Not a damn thing, honestly. Not a damn thing. But, you know, I watch YouTube videos, and I do watch Black Pigeon Speaks on occasion. And I think that dude lives in Japan. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure he actually lives in Japan. So sometimes he'll talk about, you know, cultural issues and whatever. And which there are a lot of them, you know. Like a lot of people think they're just going to move to Japan and it's going to be the greatest thing ever. And then they get there and they realize, wait a minute.
I made an error. Yeah.
Because one thing he said, and he's been living in Japan at this point for, I don't know, 15, 20 years, is that when you move to Japan, no matter how long you live in Japan, you will never be Japanese.
No.
And don't think you will. Unless you are actually Japanese, you will never be Japanese. You will be some guy living in Japan.
So he's an expat Canadian, from what your chat just said.
Oh,
Thank
well,
you,
OGG. I would believe OGG on just about anything, really. So
I like
there you
Off Grid. I haven't seen him since I kind of stopped hanging out with Max. Not that I have a problem with Max or
this
Vision
might
Myth,
not
it's
be
just-
the same OGG you think.
No, Off Grid Gamer.
Okay.
I thought he was part of the Legion of Myth fanboy crowd, and
Well,
that spills into you really hard.
Huh?
No, we all kind of have the same circle because we all are around Diversity and Dragons. We're around you. We've got Legion of Myth.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even remember. I know he's Canadian. He showed me his property one time. I think he did. Or was that Mike? I got a lot of Canadians. My Canadian homies showing up.
I don't have enough snow Mexicans in my stable
You never can have enough snow Mexicans, really.
I always try to convert them to the dark side. Come down here. We have fat ass Latinas and good tacos. Come on. Hey, Shadow,
I
what's
haven't
up,
been
buddy?
talking about any of that stuff lately just because I know for some people it's a real hot button. But I mean, there's some stuff going on. Like right now, there's stuff going on. I don't know what's going to happen, but there's stuff going on, and who knows?
What are you referencing? Because I'm a little bit lost here.
Alberta.
Alberta's going to put it up to a vote, I believe.
I think they voted to leave. Hey, there's Shadow. Look at that guy. Yeah, Shadow, my internet died today. Like, not just mine, like everyone in the neighborhood. It wasn't even supposed to be back until 10 o'clock. So, sorry, bro. I was having a great time on the chat, but so, yeah, but when I see that stuff on the news, I'm always like, I'm not going to say anything about it until I actually know something for sure, because it's easy to be like, Alberta's going to join America. And then you look like an asshole when it doesn't happen because I don't know what's going to happen with those guys. They're just up there doing shit, The only thing I understand is apparently, is it Alberta or Ontario? I think it's Alberta. They make all the money, and then like Quebec takes all the money. Somebody explained that to me. Like Alberta does all the exports, oil, lumber, like everything. They make shit tons of money, but then the government makes them give all the money they make to Quebec to pay for social services that people in Alberta don't need or something. Yeah. We're having that same problem down here. These freaking judges think that they actually think we're all going to get kulak. Bro, if it looks like that's going to happen, come down here. You just come down here. You'll be fine. We'll take care of you, show you that Southern comfort. That's that world-renowned Southern hospitality. And you'll be good as gold in no time. You go to Texas, you'll get better barbecue. You come to Florida, you get great Cuban sandwiches. Unfortunately, in both places, you will sweat your balls off. That is going to be a thing.
It was 92 degrees today by 8 o'clock.
Dude, I got home from Kentucky, pulled into the driveway, and it was 100 degrees. It had never been higher than 60 the whole time I was in Kentucky. I was loving it. I got down here, and it's just like, blah. They own the courts and get their way. Well, I mean, think about this, OGG, what happened a while back when they were doing that vote in California for the Family Act or whatever. I don't remember because I never read it, and I really don't bother with what other states are up to too much. But I do know that it passed by like an overwhelming majority, and then like some state judge just said no. And I do think that a judge... Okay, let me rephrase that. If everyone's getting together to vote to murder like a specific minority, then a judge should have the right to be like, no, we're not doing that. But I don't know that this kind of meets that level of threat. I mean, because on the one hand, I'm terrified of democracy. That's a cool spider. Is that a Reaper spider?
It is.
Because I got these Reaper like funnel web spiders. Look how he's sitting.
Oh, I love those guys.
Yeah, they just look scary, But yeah, so on the one hand, I don't like the fact that a judge can just stop a group of people. On the other hand, I don't like the idea that a mob of people can get together and just start abusing whomever they want. So I guess all I can say is it's complicated and I'm old. So hopefully people figure it out. I do know this as a history kind of a guy who loves history. Thomas Jefferson warned us to beware of the dictatorship by the judicial branch. That was a Thomas Jefferson thing. He was worried about the power of the judges, and now we're seeing he had a reason to worry a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jackie's got Hungar back in this is like 10th grade. I think in like the 11th or 12th grade, he had like a Kool-Aid green freaking mohawk. And he bribed the guy that made the high school IDs to put his picture upside down on the ID. Because he could do that. That was my brother back then. Like he could talk anyone into anything, which served him well in the dating market, because he was just that guy. And I didn't do, believe it or not, some of you are going to be like, all you do is talk, bro. When I'm online, when I'm not sitting here working and chatting with you guys, I might say a word an hour, if. So I'm that guy, I get on and I'll just go off. But when I'm just hanging out with myself, I don't even talk hardly at all because, I answer my wife when she asks me questions. I'll be like, and then I do what she tells me to do. And that's kind of what I do. Jeff's a smart guy. That's the problem with a lot of these younger people who are getting into politics is they think they're smarter than the people who actually
wrote the books,
the stuff, and it's like, It's like, okay, you guys might be geniuses. I'm not trying to take it away from you. You could be a genius, but those guys
I want to trust the Constitution
damn smart too, So a lot of arrogance. It's almost the same as movie makers always wanting to change movies just because of their own. I feel that politicians are that way. It's like they get into office and they feel like they got passed a bunch of bills so that when they retire, they'll be the whatever their name is. Like if it were me, the McKee so-and-so bill on whatever, because that's their legacy, right? But the problem is you get to a point where you really don't need any more laws. You've got enough.
We were at that point back in the 60s when we had 45,000 gun laws nationwide.
Right.
I only know about that because G. Gordon Liddy wrote about that in his book, Will.
Well, they're striking so many of those down that, like in Florida now, you don't even have to pay all the extra money and stuff if you want a suppressor. You still have to register and let the local sheriff come and look at your gun whenever he wants. But that's it, though. You ain't got to pay or anything. So if I wanted to put a suppressor on my 300 Blackout AR, I could do that. The problem is I don't want some rando showing up at the door being like, let me see that. Then again, I don't know. It might be worth it, though, because I only use subsonics. So that thing, man, there'd be no kick. I wouldn't even have to wear ear protection at the range. It'd just be click, click, click. You know what I mean? Which is the whole reason I support the idea of suppressors is because, it protects people's ears. And some people will be like, whatever. But really, having a suppressed pistol is not going to make that pistol a damn bit more lethal to anyone. But it will keep it from blowing your eardrums out. Right. But
oh my God, if we could just have Doge full time. I don't care if it offends the fucking left. They lost.
Well, I don't know. I do know. I just don't want to talk about it. There's no. I'm sure you and I agree 100%, but it's like after a while, I just feel like I'm repeating myself, and it just aggravates me. Not at you, obviously, Bruce. I'm just saying when I bitch about the government, it aggravates me about the government, and so a lot of times I try to just avoid it. Yeah. So these pterodactyls I bought, guys, that I was showing you that I put on like flight stands, right? I don't think they were very expensive. I'd have to look.
What was the toy kit that used to be sold at a five and dime store back in the early 80s?
Well, here's the
And
thing. Look, that is a cataphracti on
yeah,
its back, and it fits perfect. And the thing is in Hyperborea, not only will pterodactyls attack you, but you could, in theory, capture and train one to ride. And I know people earlier were saying, well, they got hollow bones. Could they actually carry a human? In Hyperborea, they can. I don't know about real life because I don't know. But
I would so much want to see a Hyperborea style like series.
oh yeah, like well, you can find it. It's called Fire and Ice.
Either Fire and Ice or Thundar.
Yeah, because Fire and Ice is straight up Hyperborea. You know,
Really?
everything about it. You've got Necron, who is a cryomancer. He's got his subhumans. They're basically just Neanderthals, subhumans, ape men, whatever. And then you've got Firekeep. That's just dudes living around a volcano. And the Firekeep guys ride pterodactyls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so literally, like everything about that could be just Hyperborea. You wouldn't even have to change anything, you know. Except, well, the jungle would mean that it would have to be on the Borneo coast because Cromarium, during part of the year, it like the swamps outside of Cromarium completely freeze over. It's actually kind of the thing with Hyperborea is it's pretty cold. Yeah. Except I bet you anything, Shadow, that Hyperborea predates Fire and Ice. See,
In
now
what
if he
sense?
wanted to win that argument, he would have said the Hyperborean role playing game, and I'd been like, well, yeah, you're right. But the idea of Hyperborea goes back to the Greeks, and I mean the ancient Greeks. And a lot of people are now saying that the Greeks called what is now modern day Russia Hyperborea. And all the Hyperboreans were known for their blonde hair, which Greeks considered to be a different race from white people, which they called white people. So you had the Greeks
That's
really
crazy.
had like three ethnicities: white, which was Greek; Ethiopian, which was black; and then blonde-haired people. So there you go. Now you learned something, brother.
I'll take it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I mean, it's a little pedantic. It's a little pedantic, obviously, but you know, I can't let Shadow get away with shit. You know that. My whole job is to keep him in line. So yeah, I apologize for the pedantic nature of my response, but
Speaking of pedantic, is Aaron the Pedantic still a person in the OSR?
is Eric the pedantic still alive?
Is he still around? Aaron the Pedantic was
I want to
married.
think he's
to
still
Hollywood.
alive. He was a young man.
Yeah, I want to think he's a young man, but I have not seen a hide nor hair of him.
Well, since him and his wife split up, that's been awkward, man.
Yeah,
What's her name?
Dolly.
Apparently, she like bailed and moved to Illinois or some shit. Which, you know, the typical thing women do. She probably was bored and decided to go, you know, seek excitement with another man. And it's wild because I think they had like 3 or 4 kids. And I wouldn't think that any mom would just up and, you know, scoot out on like all of her kids, but she may have. I don't know. I don't know. I
I don't
am
know.
talking out of school over here.
She was always nice to me.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. Yeah. I actually had her on my channel a couple times, bullshitting around with her. I mean, I liked her actually more than I did her husband, but I talked to her husband more when I used to be bigger on Twitter because he did the Twitter thing. That's where you would see him. And he might still be on X, but he did a lot of stuff on the Twitter thing. And I kind of put him on the spot one time because he had a red rose next to his name on Twitter. And
What?
I was like, huh?
What's that mean?
The red rose is something that communists and socialists put on their Twitter feed. So, like, if you see someone's name and they've got a red rose next to their name, a red flower, that's a signal that they're very pro-communist. And I called him out on it. I was like, what the hell's up with that red rose there, bro? What are you doing, right? And he says to me, oh, it's getting near Valentine's Day. I put it there for my wife. And me, being the suspicious bastard, I didn't believe him at all. And so he and I, as far as our friendship, cooled off pretty quick after that. Because, I mean, if there's one thing that I simply cannot stand, it's a communist. Especially an American communist. That's the stupidest shit ever. It's like, you live in the lap of luxury. You are the most blessed individual on the entire planet to ever exist. And
They live an hour away from me.
An asshole.
They lived an hour away from me, James.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still lives over there or not, but
just
if that was
American
how he
communists
is.
piss me off because my great grandparents fled Russia during the communist revolution, right? And had they stayed, they would have been murdered for being kulaks. So when I see these semi-educated, upper middle class Americans talking all this shit about pro-communism, kind of catches in my crawl bit, you know? I'm just like,
I get it.
What in the F is wrong with you guys? You know, yeah, let's go to a political system where, you know, millions die and nobody owns anything. That's great. That's great. And really, the other thing is, and this is something I talked to my priest about, Christians cannot be communists, according to my priest, because communism is entirely based on envy.
It's based on evil. It values Luciferian living
principles. Yeah.
There's nothing good that comes out of communism.
Yeah, so those fake preachers that get up there and talk about how Christ would have been a socialist. Yeah, no.
I every time I hear that, I just want to see a meteor come through the door, come through the roof, smite the preacher at the pulpit.
Right. But anyway, so that was kind of when we stopped talking so much. Is he tried to make an excuse, but I knew better, you know. I knew much better than that shit, because there for a while, me and the RPG pundit, or I should say the RPG pundit and I, were pretty much fighting with every one of the Twitter communists, you know, full blast nonstop. And that's when Pundit come up with the idea of gatekeeping, which I know he didn't come up with the idea, but he started talking about it a whole lot. So this is 15 years ago, maybe 10, at least 10. And there was me, Saxius, Mofridius.
Are you talking Saxius from Legion of Myth?
Huh?
Wasn't there Saxius with Legion of Myth for a while?
Saxius, who's been on my channel multiple
Oh,
times,
yeah,
is a
he's
really
a Brit.
nice guy from Denmark.
He's a Brit, isn't he?
He lives in Britain. He is a Dane. And
Okay.
I like to have him on because he tells me all about what's going on with his Rogue Trader game. He runs the old Fantasy Flight Rogue Trader, and he's very, very into like the paperwork of it. So his games are incredibly complex, incredibly deep, because he's dealing with like taxes and like everything. He takes care of everything. Everyone. Anyway, and that's just the way he is. On Twitter, years and years and years ago, he was just Saxius, lawful evil fighter. That's how you would know him. And he had that same kind of guy in the blue armor with the big scar across his face. That was his art on Twitter. And he and I used to chat all the time. And it was really funny when I met him on YouTube, because I was like, hey, do you remember? And I named some of my handles that got banned, because they all did. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, that was me, man. We were like friends for like 5 years. Well, Twitter friends, Twitter allies. Now, a guy I've lost touch with and I wonder about is a Basic Expert. It was
John?
like, yeah, John. It was like he was around and now he's gone and I never see him. And the last thing he told me is that he converted to Orthodoxy.
Yeah.
And I was like, awesome, bro. And then I've never seen him again.
His Discord's going good. Have you been in there lately?
I have not. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure I even knew he had a Discord. I know he was on Gilded, and Gilded just pisses me off.
I love Gilded, and they fucking broke it. Fuck.
Gilded just... I really just don't like Gilded. No particular 100%. No, there's reasons. I was going to say, I was going to try to be like cool and not offend anybody, but no, I don't like Gilded. There's reasons I don't. Because I think it sucks. And I hate that it keeps trying to ask me if I want to play Roblox. It's like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to play Roblox. Leave me alone. Right? Yeah, Saxius is a great guy. I don't know what he does in England. Probably something involving banking or paperwork. And but he is a great guy, and he's been a great guy. Here's the thing. I didn't know him because you know how internet stuff is, but I have been around that dude for a decade at least. And the same could be said about me and the pundit. The main difference, though, when it comes to pundit and I, is he would block me occasionally, but then he'd unblock me, and then he'd block me. And see, me and the pundit, we would get in the spats about stuff. But at the end of the day, I was always an ally of his versus his enemies. The ultra wokey assholes. I was always 100% on the pundit's side. But then when we would talk about, he would want to talk about politics, and I'd always call him a effing neocon, and he'd get mad about it. But I stand by it. And there for a while, he was calling me a Yahtzee like quite a bit. And I was just making fun of him for that. Because I was like, I really don't give a shit what you think. So, yeah, that Roblox, man, that's a dangerous place. You don't want to be there. But I think right now, Pundit and I are actually pretty good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think the beef, I don't think either of us, well, I don't think. I know for a fact, I never said,
you're fucking adults.
Well, what I'm saying is, I know for a fact, I never said, I'm sorry, bro. And he never said he was sorry. We just kind of stopped arguing.
There's no need
Plus,
to argue.
I really love baptism
you have
of
your own
fire.
opinions, right?
Right.
Does everything need to be a goddamn? You guys always need to have a meeting what do you call that? A compromise? Does that always have to happen?
How it pissed him off what is I said he got his degree from fucking Hogwarts. Man, he did not like that. And I forget what we were arguing about. I think demonology or some shit. And he was trying to talk some shit. And I was like, listen here, buddy. You know. Now, overall, I like him. And I love the games that he has made. I am a supporter. But, you know, nobody gets my support for free. If you talk some shit I disagree with, yeah, I'm gonna talk some shit back. You can count on that, you know.
Only fair.
That's all. That's all. And yeah. But did I buy the Vikings book when it came out? Yes, I did. You know, because I think overall he's a really good guy. He just, you know, he and I disagree on a few particulars.
You know what he needs? He needs to come to Texas.
He needs a girlfriend.
I
often wonder, like, he's in Uruguay, right? You think it'd be easy for a tall white dude to hook up. What's going on there? Or he's keeping it super secret. Or there's another option, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, whatever.
Here's Holy Diver. Homie, what is up? Homie Diver, I should call him. What's up, brother? How you doing, bro?
Oh, hold on here. My camera's not working. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I hear you.
All right, give me a second here.
Yeah, my camera F's up all the damn time too, so.
Oh, let's full screen that. Let's see. Huh.
James, I went out and I made sure that I got Restream for a whole year.
Wow. Well, you and Janet stream a lot. I see Janet Friday nights talking about stuff, and I'll drop into her chat and just like give her the thumbs up and you know, let her know I'm watching. She and I send music back and forth.
There we go.
There he is. Look at that.
There's been a few changes since I've been around there with that. You have to go down to the menu and click it.
Holy Diver. I was talking to a guy in my chat, and I forget his name now because I'm that way. And this dude literally lives down the street from you and is friends with the one dude you used to like MMA train with.
Oh, that's cool. Where would they live? Down the street, like.
Well, I didn't ask him specifically, but I was talking about, my bro, Holy Diver. And he's like, because he mentioned he's in Utah. And I was like, I'm pretty sure, you know. And he's like, oh, yeah, like the guy, I guess they're Polynesian or something. Owns a gym, and you were training with him.
What was his name?
You heard me say I don't remember, right?
Oh, that's okay. No, Polynesian narrows the field, but I'd still need a name because I know a lot of Polynesians.
In Utah?
Yeah, we don't have black people. We have Polynesians.
Well, I mean, you know.
That's what we've got. They bring them here to play football for BYU. The end.
I would not have imagined that, but cool. Anyway, so I was telling him he was painting some Death Guard guys. And I was like, you know, Holy Diver and he's like, yeah, he just lives not too. And I was like, have you ever talked to the guy? Maybe you two get together and game or something, you know?
That'd be awesome. We could use an extra solid guy in our group right now. We got one guy who's going to have twins. The other guy I played a game with I played a game a Saturday ago and gave him my dice eights. We're not going to see him for 2 months.
So I'm caught up on all your shows, by the way, homie.
Oh, thanks, homeboy. That's nice of you.
Well, I mean, you know, I keep forgetting when I actually get on and talk to you, it's because Hungar calls me and he's like, Holy Diver's on. Get up.
Oh, that's nice of him. Godspeed, Hungar.
Yeah, I went up visiting. You know that we had a blast. I walked
I
up
know
to
I
the
missed
top of
that.
my
I missed
mountain.
that stream you guys did together. I'll have to go back to the histories and watch that.
Right. Look, and I'm sitting here saying I walked up a mountain, but our mountains are like nothing to your mountains because
That
Appalachian,
there is some truth to that. I walked up a flight of stairs which was on a mountain, and JVC Paints was behind me when I was visiting Japan. He's like, "Can you carry me?" I'm like, "What? It's just a flight of stairs." But we were on a mountain, you know. It's true.
Yeah, my property is basically all the way up to a mountain, but not the slope on the other side. But you would call it a hill
That there is some truth to that. There is some absolute
because
truth
I
to
mean the
that.
Rockies and shit like that. I mean I've been out in that region once or twice, and those are like real deal. You know,
I'll send you a picture from my side window tomorrow morning. I'll send you a picture.
well, that one video I made of me sitting by the rocks, that's almost on the top of the hill, and that was still only about 2,600 feet above sea level.
I spend my entire life at 45.
The tallest place in Kentucky is Black Mountain, and it's just about around 4K. But our mountains are older than the rings of Saturn. You know what I mean? They've got worn down over the years.
There's a guy I follow on Instagram who's always doing Appalachia monsters.
So what are we talking about? Hairy man, dog man,
He
witches?
said that he made this video. He's like, if you hear something, call your name in Appalachia. No, you didn't. Don't respond.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. If
Skinwalker.
you thought you saw something, no, you didn't. Don't look out your window.
If the deer you see on the trail moves weird, yeah, don't mess with him. It's
Don't
not
mess with
skinwalkers because that's like a Southwest Indian thing.
That,
But
that's
we got
closer
something
to
kind
where
of
I'm
like
at.
a
That's
skinwalker.
Navajo shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a thing called a wampus cat. And the
Wampus.
wampus cat was created because a Cherokee woman snuck up and watched the Cherokee shamans doing a ritual. And they punished her by turning her into a wampus cat. And you can tell it's a wampus cat because it looks like a cougar, but it's got 6 legs. And it loves to eat men.
What is that? What is that called? The phase beast? That's a Dungeons and Dragons. Don't they have 6 legs?
They do, but they got tentacles coming out of the back.
Yeah. They
James
I
just
have
painted
a-
up some sick Germans in trucks and cars. Well, leshies are just big, giant things made out of vegetation sometimes. That's really a Russian thing. But it does turn out, like when I found out I was 60% German, my mom was like, how the hell are you German? And then the wife and I were watching this thing about weird things about Kentucky. There is a German village in eastern Kentucky. It was founded like before America existed, and it's almost dead now. But for the longest time, everyone there spoke German. They celebrated all the German holidays and shit. So I'm like, well, I guess that's where I got the German, you know. But
Sounds
yeah,
about
everybody
right.
thinks Appalachians are Scots-Irish, but it turns out got a lot of German up here. But no, I had a great time. The weather never got really over 60 or so, which I love.
Oh yeah, they have beautiful weather in Kentucky and Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Got home, and as soon as we were pulling the driveway, the wife looked at the thermostat on the car, and it was like 100 degrees outside. We were both like, get the fuck out of here.
What's that drive like from the extreme south to the mid-south?
For us, it's not bad because my sister-in-law lives in like around, not in, but around Jackson, Georgia. So, which is near Atlanta. So we always have like the halfway spot we can stop off, and we generally go out to dinner and play games and then sleep in their guest room and then hit it the next day. If you drove all the way through, it'd be about 16, 17 hours. But the way we do it, it's like, 7 or 8 hours and then 7 or 8 hours the next day.
Oh God, 7-8 hours. So it's a 15-hour drive, huh?
Yeah, around.
Oh my goodness.
And you wouldn't think it is, but did you make me a hamburger?
Yeah.
You're too good. I told you I wasn't even hungry, but I will eat it though.
Oh, you don't want it?
No, I want it. I told you I was going to eat it.
Okay.
My wife.
James and Diver.
Over there
I'm gonna
wifing
follow
around, doing wife stuff.
I'm going to vacate. I do need to wake up earlier than I want to, but
Yeah, 3 a.m. comes early, all right?
it does.
I
You
was
guys-
hoping you'd be on earlier today, James. I kept checking, and then here you are. It's like almost, what is it, 10:30 your time?
My internet died. I was actually on Shadow and Sun stream at like 1 o'clock. And I was right in the middle. We were talking about Hyperborea or some shit, and everything just died. And my wife got in touch with our internet provider, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's going to be down till 10 p.m.
Dang.
But it came back. So that's what happened there.
Well, that's always a bonus.
I have seen The Ritual off grid, and that is a awesome movie. And I'm going to show you something here too. And that is, I have the monster from The Ritual.
Is that the Wampus cat or?
No, you remember, have you ever seen the movie The Ritual where those English guys go to Scandinavia and they encounter the
I
son
think I've
of
seen
Loki?
the trailer to that.
Well, I have this is Modor. Modor is the son of Loki. And it's really weird because like it looks the antlers are actually like hands, and you can see there's a body there. And like the eyes are way up underneath here.
I see that.
And then the arms hang. I mean, it's just a really weird beast. And I have it in 2 scales. I have it in this scale and I have it in actual. Like,
speaking of weird beasts, hey, take a look at this.
what is that?
That's from the War Machine line. It's called a Leviathan.
Well, it's the Leviathan, all right.
He's on a ship and he's just got his cannons. This thing has 3 cannons that it shoots around here, and it throws a boat at one of its. Oh, this is the best one. This right here, it's called Pitch Jet Stream. I throw a boat at you, I knock you down.
I used to be heavy into War Machine during the 2nd edition time.
So was my group. They got back into it after Steamforge redid their rules. I'm still playing. Like, I can't make my trolls work. I'm still playing my Scorn from way back in the day.
The Scorn were hard to make work back in the day. But
I'm having more luck with them than I am anything else.
I played, and I thought I do have her here. I haven't put her swords back on. Here is the Warcaster I always took.
Is that Signar?
That's Minoth.
Menoth. Okay, hell
And
yeah.
this is the Living Saint. You can see she's got monks on the ground with chains pulling around like she's a freaking balloon in some kind of parade. She gets 10 focus.
That's pretty good. No, I've always I've dabbled in it. I'm not a huge fan, but I'll play it. I mean, it's something to do. If I didn't have a gaming group, I'd never leave my house.
Right. Well, what makes her awesome is not just the 10 focus, but she's got a special rule that if she's your Warcaster, any Minoth Jack that doesn't have a ranged attack is 1 point less to buy. And that might not seem like much, but when you start the game with like 10 freaking Crusaders and you save 10 points, and so you make a Jack ball.
Yeah.
And you because her big base means if she's not behind like 2 or 3 Crusaders, anyone can shoot her. So yeah, you make the Jack ball, and you always take, and I don't know if he's in here, the Avatar of Minoth. And that's a Warjack that generates its own focus. At the beginning of your turn, you roll dice 6, and it gets between 1 and 3 focus.
Oh, that's really good.
For free.
That's really good.
And it's a monster. It is a beast.
I'm a dabbler at best. I have never been really ever that good at this game. The other faction that I work on is my minions. and I'm going to try to get a little bit of them. But right now, all my trolls are done. I'm going to work these Death Guard. I'm working on this Death Guard. What do you call these guys? Cataphracti Praetor.
Yeah.
I'm working on a Praetor right now, so he's going to take me a little while. But I figure if I get the Praetor out of the way, the rest of the Terminators should fall like bowling pins.
Death Guard is see, I'm lucky because 30K Blood Angels, it's like, do you like red? You know, I mean,
oh, Death Guard they're easy to paint. I really.
Oh, are you painting 30K Death Guard or just the Plague Marines?
No, 30K Death Guard. They're a
Oh yeah,
color.
so white and green.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm using more of a Menoth white. It's here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
actually,
You want like a cream color, like an eggshell color almost.
yeah, it's right here. It's
You
called
do it however you want.
Hyphen
but-
Ash.
Yeah, that's perfect. And then kind of faded out green. But
My
Blood Angels are so easy because 30K Blood Angels or 30K Marines, I should say, aren't super like intricate and covered with filigree and stuff by and large. So it's like, oh, they're green. And now I paint the gun and now I put green eyes on the helmet and give it a wash. And now I play it because they don't.
Absolutely.
Well, no, I paint all of my power packs on their backs metal.
I see a lot. That's a very common thing. A lot of people do that.
With
I
30K
did it.
specifically, yeah.
Yeah, that's the power packs being a metal color, just being completely different color, black. I've seen them for Ultramarines painted black and metal color. That's a very common thing is for people to paint the power. I mean, I don't know who would frown upon that or anything. That's just like that's a very common technique right there. Is just paint the power packs black.
I think that the metal power packs for so many of the different legions has to do with in 30K. I mean, like they weren't special. Like if your power pack got jacked up, you just went and got another one, right?
Right.
So, it was just another piece of equipment. But by 40K, they practically worship their power packs. It's like, like with the bolter in 30K, no one's like saying prayers over their bolter. They're just
because then they want to make more bolters in 40K. I believe they have to research how they made them.
Yeah, and plasma guns in 40K, except if you buy into the Primaris bullshit, is they like originally in 40K they couldn't make plasma weapons. Those were artifacts from the 30K and beyond, and every plasma weapon was like the super special freaking thing. Now, I mean, you saw what they did though. They basically got rid of Primaris.
Recently?
Yeah. Or you could argue they got rid of the old blood. Because there's no longer a distinction between Space Marine and Primaris.
I didn't follow that. I haven't been following 40K since our last little try at 10th edition earlier this year. I've just given up on that game altogether. Right. And then I follow the news like Games Workshop. Let me Google this real quick. They have a line of hold on.
In their next set, there's not going to be the old blood or whatever anymore. It's just Space Marine. Shamefully, I bought a lot of Primaris Marines, and then after playing them, I got rid of a lot of Primaris Marines. And it was mainly because I hate the way the Primaris Marines organized for battle. I didn't understand why a Primaris Marine couldn't ride in a Razorback. I didn't understand why they couldn't get in a Land Raider. I hated the fact that you couldn't have a Devastator squad. It was like, and why are my intercessors unable to carry a missile launcher and a flamer? I mean, who thought that was a great idea? Belsarius Call, he's an idiot. So I went back to Tactical Marines.
Yeah. So, okay, this is just on Reddit. This is coming out. They're going to have a limited release of pre-painted, pre-packaged terrain. I don't know how they're going to sell it. I don't know what it's going to cost, but it looks like they're going to release that. And I said 3% growth per year, and they're going to make this. They're going to make this official. If you're going to play in Games Workshop sponsored events, you're going to need their terrain to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're being Games Workshop. I mean, I'm not surprised.
BlackRock standard. I just wish I could find a better thread. That's okay though. That's okay. I'm I'm not the biggest for me right now. I'm not the biggest Games Workshop guy anymore. I literally just want to kill this back catalog I've got here and play some 30K, play games that are just already out and have been like 30K second edition was the last good game that they wrote. Old World, it's okay, but they found a way to break it. They found a way to break it with their FAQs,
Right?
and it's rightfully so. But I said my piece a long time ago when I said, okay, the reason why you can take 1,000 points in characters is that's a carve out the Age of Sigmar players who have a lot of big models sitting around, and all they have to do is get some circle base holders and throw their guys out there,
Right.
and they'll be able to play too. It's like, here, we can transfer you guys over real quick, 3D print some movement trays, and you're ready to go. And you can play that big monster you have, that big centerpiece monster. So that, but a lot of like the complaints is every army's kind of the same. And then they've nerfed certain items, like the way that they did Poison Dirty. It's no longer I automatically wound you on 6s. I roll a 6 and then I get +2 to the wound roll. That's how Poison works now.
Yeah. Well,
And
I knew I wasn't going to play the Old World, and I think I told you this back when it came out. When they announced that there would be, like, the Dark Elves weren't going to be really supported. I was like, well, you lost me, assholes, because I play Dark Elves. I
know a lot. I feel a lot of people's pain right there and everything. I think they could release supplements. Like right now, it's like, okay, if everybody wants to play vampire counts, they could have released a Dieter Helsnick campaign or something because he's alive at this time. The Doom Lord of Middenheim, that old 5th edition character that rode the Manticore. So they could release these. They could release these guys in supplements, and it's like they could release. If they want to bring Dark Elves into it, well, what are Dark Elves doing right now? They've been kicked back to Nargothrond right now, and they're busy gathering slaves. So they could have a Corsair themed list. Maybe not a full list of everything you'd want, but they could bring them in with a supplement, and you have these 6 selections for your army. You could bring a Charybdis or a Hydra. You got to bring a bunch of Corsairs. You got to bring a bunch of Black Riders, and then for what else was there?
If I had to pick for a specifically Corsair-based army, it would be Black Riders, Corsairs, possibly Harpies.
Harpies, yeah.
And then, like, obviously your Sorcerer, Sorceress, and Commanders. You might be able to mount a Commander or Sorceress on, like, a monster or something, but yeah, because the Harpies supposedly like to fly around the Black Arcs and hang out there and shit. So
yeah, they would be raiding the coast, so they'd have a lot of hit and run tactics or something like that.
I would dig it. If they had done that, I'd been all about it. I'd been, yeah, all right, cool.
But the initial decision to keep the roster small, like under 10 armies, I think that's a good decision. I think I know it cuts both ways.
Right.
But, just from a writing perspective, like you look at the mess that they've gotten themselves in with 40K, 24 playable factions, and it's not a 6-year cycle, it's a 3-year cycle. And they're shifting back to everything's going to be close combat and fast attacky. Yay! From this heavy. This edition, 10th, was a huge shooting edition, and it sucked. Like the shooting phase was so freaking destructive. It just like sucked all the fun out of the game, in my opinion. It's, you know, I get some people like it, some, you know, being
Yeah, the dwarves like it.
Unemployable creatures on the planet.
Oh, Manal, how you doing, bro? Yeah, poor squats.
And they brought them back. Their Leagues of Votan, I guess. But, you know, I mean, like I said, you know, take it or leave it. That's where I'm at. I really like, I'm sure you watch from time to time, maybe just a little bit or have heard of Crown of Command.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, like he's playing the way it was in the 90s. And, you know, I'd like to play the way it was when I was in high school. So.
Well, for fantasy, I have whichever the rule book was for Battle Skull Pass. I have a bunch of them actually because
Skull Pass is 7th edition. I'm a fan of
5 of those boxes, homie. They were like $99 a piece at this local game store. So every payday, I bought one.
Dang.
And right now, over in that thing over there, I have a goblin army, the likes of which it's like, I mean, I can throw goblins on a table and go from one end of a 6-foot table to the other, you know, with just blocks of goblins.
Oh God! Somebody actually played in a tournament. Let me see here. It was, oh God, was it 80? Okay, so hold on. It was just give me a second. I have to point this out real quick.
Right.
Let me get my phone. Hold on. I don't know what he was bringing for characters, but it was all goblin infantry all the time. And I think this was an 8th edition. So 3 times 20 plus 20 plus 2/5. Okay, so is that by 10? That's not the right number.
Well, I know Goblin Spearman with a shield is like 3 or 4 points.
Okay, so he had well over. I think it was. I'm going to times this by 14. He had about 1,470 points in just 20-man units with the fanatic apiece, and that stretched 6 feet across the board. I don't know what he was, and then the rest was like wizards and lords and stuff to make the army function, you know. But it was literally like every unit. It was just 20 units of night goblins, spearmen, archers, because back in 8th edition you could choose the weapon variant. So
right.
Hand weapon, shield, sword, and board. So he'd have his archers out there, and it was 6 feet across. And then his characters were in there in various units.
I've got about the same army, except I've got some shamans with pet squigs. And then my big block is actually Grimgore Ironhide and a unit of Blackworks.
You can't go wrong there.
And he's like the one that's running the show, you know what I mean? And I got some Wolf Riders because, but have I won a lot with that army? No, not really. But is it fun? Yeah. And fanatics are the funnest thing. And yes, I watch Big Small Worlds. Squirrel, that Squirrel Hermit's thing. He does a lot of D&D and miniature games in 15 mil. But I actually don't win very much with any of my armies, to be honest, Holy Diver. Like every now and then I'll eke something out, but I would say my win-loss ratio is probably 2-8 if I were dividing it by 10. I win about 20%. And in 40K, the only army I can definitively say I crushed on the table, like tabled ever, was I was playing Lamenters versus Dark Eldar. And the reason I crushed them is my Blood Angel army, because, you know, yellow Blood Angels, right? Everything that could have twin-linked assault cannons did. And I had a shit ton of Razorbacks. And in the back of the Razorbacks was 5-man squads of assault marines that I'd taken their jump packs off to save the points. You dig what I'm saying?
Hey, gents.
Yeah.
And then I had 3 Bow Predators. And it was just like he put his shit on the table. I put my shit on the table. We started going. Those assault rifles started burr. And his army just vanished, man. It was just like, oh, look, there's some Wrens. There's some rerolls. It was like,
You know, take your shit up, put it away. It wasn't even a fun battle, and my assault marines at no point even left the Razorbacks. It was just my vehicles chasing him around the table with assault game. I even had 3 land speeders, twin link assault cannons on the bitches. I was just like, you know. But again,
that sounds like good times, especially seeing as how you wound him on 2s.
Right, because of his 3 toughness. Against Space Marines, that would have been great. It'd have been cool, but you know. Now, my favorite Space Marine army was, I think I had 100 tactical Marines. It was 2,500 points, and I just took tactical Marines with the basic loadout, no upgrades at all. So the sergeant had a chainsword and a freaking bolt pistol, missile launcher and flamer in every group, and I just rolled in like that, and a commander, you know. And it was fun, but not necessarily competitive, but it was fun, you know. So how you doing, Shadow? I said earlier, I hope you heard my internet.
I did.
Turned off.
No worries. Shit happens. I wanted to say real quick, HT, that whoa. Sorry about that. That's your show, not mine. That War Machine Leviathan, man, that is freaking amazing.
Oh, you like that?
Oh my! I guess you didn't see my comment earlier. Thing's freaking impressive. Paint job, sculpt, the whole bit, man.
War Machine used to have some really nice miniatures. And War Machine 2nd edition was way better than whatever edition of 40K was out when it was out.
The 2nd edition of every
game it was a better game.
The 2nd edition of every game is always the best. Just go through the record books. 2E Gamma World. 2nd edition of D&D was AD&D, the best version. The
well,
2nd edition
as an actual war game, and you could play the game with
2nd edition 40K
small amount of
was the best.
Too.
2nd edition of 40K was the best.
So they brought out the 40K. I don't know what they were thinking. I owned that.
I loved it. The
first cannons that do like a penetration number plus die 10 or some crazy shit. They lost the molds during the move. That sucks. Because I've got
they no molds were lost. Someone's got them, and they're being a dick about it.
Well, lost.
What's up, Squirrel?
I have multiples of every Minoth Jack they ever made. So Castigators, Crusaders, all of it. I did start doing a combined arms thing. So I did start taking Fanatics with hand grenades. And I would put their command unit in, and you can activate him, and it makes the whole unit immune to damage for a round. Which means you can throw the hand grenades at your feet, and you take no damage, but anyone else within a blast radius does. So you can literally suicide bomb people, but you don't die. You know?
Yeah, that's a broken rule if I ever heard of one.
Game Workshop cheese.
Yeah.
That's a broken rule if I ever heard one.
Well, no, it's magic because the leader of the unit has a big Minoth cross he's carrying, and he activates Blessings of Minoth, and it just makes the whole unit immune to all damage. For one round.
Okay, still broken.
Whatever. And then Minoth has paladins, and the paladins are awesome. And they have a named champion paladin. He's awesome. You know, you just run up on people with your paladin. I actually have killed more warcasters with the paladin than anything because they see the jackball coming, and it's like 10 crusaders with my freaking war balloon. And then if they're not paying attention, that paladin will come around on the flanks and wreck their ass. So War Machine is a great game. I don't know how it is now, but it is a great
game. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. You know, I mean, I'm not the best at it, but my friends seem to like it. So, you know, I'm not going to take that away from them. I'm glad that, you know, after playing it, I never stepped foot into playing what is that game called by Infinity. I'm glad I never stepped foot into that game.
I tried that game, and it's like It's weird. And the people who make it absolutely despise Americans. Like I used to be on their board. They're in Spain, I think.
Yeah.
They freaking hate Americans. And that's why America in Infinity is such a minor power that's actually on a colony world that's ruled over by the Russians.
Spain is the absolute like I don't know what's like if you think the EU is bad, go to Spain.
I don't know why they're such shitheads. I never thought they were, but apparently they have beef with us. I was not even aware it existed.
Oh, there's a beef there. There's a beef there. Like I talked to so there's that channel, that 30K channel. Hold on, I don't remember his name, but I had a beef with that guy on here.
I mean, I don't think I've ever spoke to anyone from Spain except when I used to be on the Infinity forums, and it was just like, you guys are assholes,
I can't remember.
And like the one commander they give you for the Americans, they based him off of Matthew McConaughey's character from the Dragon movie. When he gets out of the tank and he's like, so and so, 5th Kentucky Infantry, blah blah blah. You can't even tell it's Matthew McConaughey because he's got his head shaved and he's got a beard. Well, they made that figure for the Ariadne US thing, and they make a point of describing him as fat because Americans. And I'm like, his name had a Z, Van Zant, something Van Zant. And they make a point of he's a corpulent, whatever. And I called him out on it, and they tried to be like, well, corpulent doesn't mean fat. And I'm like, yeah, it does. You assholes.
Oh, yeah, it does.
But the actual real American army in Infinity is Pan-Oceania. And that's a bunch of like Roman Catholic Templar Knights in power armor. The United States, Australia, and a bit of Europe are all part of Pan-Oceania. And then Ariadne, they do got some cool figures though. The Ariadne American Rangers, they got their little boonie hats and they got sniper rifles and they're all crap. They look like Vietnam. And then the Russians look like Cossacks with like super fancy AKs.
Yeah, so the guy's name is Pardo. He's that owner of SN Battle Reports and everything like that. And I don't know if you call it a successful troll or anything, but I ended the beef with, I'm not the one who lives in Spain. It's okay. He's like, well, you're wrong again. I live in the UK. So Europe's America for boat migrants. Got it. He got all butthurt about that.
Yeah.
It's in I mentioned it in one of my live streams in passing and everything like that. I don't remember which one. Because,
what's funny is the Portuguese love us.
My superpower is I forget the people once I troll them.
Right. Like my niece went to visit Portugal, and apparently the Portuguese are like huge fans of America. They like us. They think we're like awesome.
At least someone likes us out there.
Well,
have either of you guys
and the Poles. I mean, the Poles love us. Or even if they don't love us, they just like us a lot more than Russia. So
here's a good meme I saw. You can get, they were advertising this Volkswagen and it said it'll take you from Berlin to Warsaw on a single tank of gas.
Right.
And I Googled it. It's 345 miles, which made it even funnier. That's like commuting to Vegas. That's like the distance between, what do you call it? Okinawa and Taiwan.
I always thought it was kind of, because I'm a Rammstein fan. And every time I see Rammstein like playing in Moscow, I'm always like, I always get just a thought, like, huh, you know what I mean? Like, I know that I should be like away because my great grandparents came from Russia, but there's Rammstein right in Moscow. So the Germans did get there after all, I guess.
The German invasion. They got some good bands out of Germany. Not gonna lie, I like Rammstein. I had my niece was like, "Why do you always listen to this band?" I'm like, "Shut up, that's why."
Yeah, it's like I saw them in concert in Miami, and they are amazing in concert live.
I used to listen to a bunch of them on one of my Pandora channels. I had no idea what the hell they were saying, but I like the sound of them.
If you relax your brain, you can understand about half of it. No, really, because German and English have so many shared words that if you literally relax your brain, you can understand about every 10th word.
Like, my friend was.
Have either of you guys checked out the new Warzone? You know, the old Mutant Chronicles game?
Have not.
Yeah, I'm kind of iffy on it because it's all from what I can tell, it looks like it's 3D printed, and I'm a metal guy. I still have I have hundreds of original sealed blister packs, but nobody to game with, so they're just going to sit in a box somewhere.
I think I showed you my corporate Rangers that I still have.
The Sunset Strikers, I think they were.
No, they're the Rangers for Capital. Because the Sunset Strikers are the red ones, but the Rangers are the ones that have like the anchor and the trident on them, and they wear green, and some of them got like bush hats, and they got the big American gun. Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I'm just looking at boxes. Looks pretty cool. I don't know anything about it.
Yes, that's the skinny dude. He writes a lot of the songs, and he did that entire show on a treadmill because I don't know why not. While he's playing keyboard,
because he was on that much cocaine and he needed to burn it off.
He's really skinny, so I don't know. And he's really
Is that how that works? You get on the cocaine.
He's super nerdy looking. One thing a lot of people don't know is Till Lindeman's first wife left him to marry the guitarist in the band. And they stayed together as a band. See, I don't know if I could have done that. I'm just not that evolved. I'd have been pissed. I'd been like, oh, so you've been banging my wife, huh? Well, I mean, the best case scenario is I'm not talking to you anymore. And the worst case scenario is we're going to jail. But
we're going to jail.
Right? But somehow
I hear you. I fucking hear you, dude.
Somehow they kept the band together, and it's all good and hood with them.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know if people
see me open this.
No, I didn't even see the box. What the? Oh, that's the Conan. Okay, now
this
I know
is
what
the
it looks
Conan
like.
miniatures box I told you about.
I wrote it down this morning. It's right here, buddy.
254 miniatures in this box.
Holy
including
cow.
all of the heroes from the Conan stories, all of the antagonists. So you've got Constantius and Kimsa, Cassostral, the Man-Apes, and all that. And then also a bunch of demons, Zaporavo, Zogersag, Thog, Thak. And then 165 minion-type figures. So you end up getting like 20 picks, a shit ton of pirates and skeletons and mummies and hyenas and guards and man-apes, ghouls, cultists, etc. And then also some scenery, like a bookcase and some cases, some chests, a sarcophagus.
You remember this one?
Piles of skulls, some tables, stools, and torch stands. Oh, that's cool.
That's 1979 Heritage Miniatures Conan. Well, actually, it's 1980s when Heritage Miniatures was back in, Texas. They had the license to the Conan miniatures right around the time the movie came out because the logo for the miniatures was Arnold, and this is a 52 millimeter
A giant
figure,
Roman.
right? Whereas all the rest of the miniatures were in 25 millimeter scale, which is it's all there was back then. So what are you gonna do? But
I think I showed you this guy, right? He's a Hyperborean barbarian.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Well, note the
Nice
white
paint job.
hair and the purple eyes, and how pale.
Honestly, I thought he was bald, but okay.
No, he's got a full head of hair, but it's white.
It was hard. I guess the way you were holding it, it looked. I couldn't see it.
Because Hyperboreans have white or blonde hair. Except the other example is they can have black hair, but it's rare. So you generally got white or golden blonde hair or black hair, and their eyes are not the whites, not the sclera, but the actual pupil and everything there is purple, violet. And then their skin is almost albino. So, and they're between 7 and 8 feet tall and can't reproduce with normal humans and live 300 plus years.
So,
also,
like elves on steroids, kind of.
Well, they also kind of look down on all the other human races, and
So elves on steroids.
So yeah, and a big part of that is they used to rule all of Hyperborea, and then after the Green Plague came, and 90% of all humanity died out, the barbarians kind of kicked back up quicker than the Hyperboreans did, right? And they took over what used to be the Hyperborean Empire. By the time the Hyperboreans came out of the mountains to take their shit back, it was too late. So now they got an attitude about it, because they feel like their empire's been ruled by a bunch of subhumans. Which part of it is the ape men that are actually subhumans, they rule part of it too. So, And then, of course, I've been painting up my Romans. And here's some 3D printed Romans that I got from a person, and they're really nice. Because as I told you,
I like that.
Yeah, as I told you, well, they're on round bases, but they got the square movement tray, right? The character I play in Hyperborea in the one game is a Roman who was part of like one of the legions that was out searching for the 8th Legion or whatever. And he was in the forest in Germany, and he went through a really foggy area. And when he got through the fog, he was in Hyperborea.
Are you sure he wasn't in Narnia?
It kind of works that way. I know you're making a joke, but Hyperborea works that way. So in Hyperborea, you can't play anything but a human, right? But you can play any ancient type of human. So my character is a straight up Caesarian Roman soldier. My wife plays a Danish berserker.
That's pretty cool.
And then another of the guys at our table plays a Celtic scout. And then we've got an Amazonian assassin, Atlantean cryomancer, a Greek, actually Spartan warlock. You can play an Anglo-Saxon in Hyperborea. You can play a Berber. You can play a Finn if you want to be Finnish. You can play a Finn. Like, it's all there. But what you can't play is anything that's not human. And the big example for the setting is that, like the Cimmerians, which are what the Cimmerians were based off of. They were steppe tribe. They were being chased down by the Thracians, and they ran between two mountains into a valley. And when they got out the other side of the valley, they're in Hyperborea. And Hyperborea is pretty much ruled over by Cthulhu, the great old ones, and also the Greek gods. So like Apollo and Diana and all that are gods that are worshipped on Hyperborea. Haas's Hyperborean cleric worships the Sagwa, which is the big fat toad looking thing that sits on the pile of skulls. That's literally my brother's character's deity.
You mean that Dungeons and Dragons thing with the it's got all those jewels, it looks like a hippo?
No, this is a Clark Ashton Smith Lovecraftian thing.
and it basically looks like a big fat toad sitting on a pile of skulls, and he's got like hair on places, not everywhere. And according to the lore, he drug his sorry ass from Saturn. So, you know. And then in Clark Ashton Smith's writings, there's an actual story called A Window to Saturn or A Door to Saturn. And it turns out Saturn can, humans can live on Saturn. It's just super hard, right? Because the rivers are mostly mercury and stuff like that. So finding water is the issue. But the Blenny, which I've been fighting to get a hold of some of and finally did, which are humans that don't have a head, but their faces are in their chest. You know what I'm talking about, Diver?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Well, they are the most common people on Saturn, which they call Kresh. And I talked to a Etsy person, and she had the STL for a Blenny, but it was like 6 inches tall. And I'm like, I need one about the size of a normal miniature. And she reskinned it or whatever and showed it to me. And
Sized it.
yeah, and we're working out the I think she said she would make them for me for like $3 each.
My buddy Forever in a Day sizing up my Perturabos Domitar cohort that he made for me that I had 3D printed by him, and he did a really good job with that. Yeah, I told Firstborn Miniatures, a guy who follows me on Instagram and stuff. I said, he's like, they get me into 40K. Should I buy anything? I said, just 3D print it, man. Just 3D print it. Don't give them your money. So you use your game store, your FLGS game store certificates that you have to buy supplies.
Well,
Hey, James, show me that Conan box set again.
okay. It is called Conan the Hyperborean Age Role-Playing Game Miniature Box. It weighs it weighs a good 10 pounds.
Yeah, it looks like
see
it's
how
about
thick that
As
bastard
big as you, and you're a big guy.
I'm on Monolith's website. Looks like it's about $103.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but it's 300 miniatures around. So,
Right.
What
No.
size are the miniatures?
huh?
What size are the miniatures?
They're generally 28 heroic. So the Conan miniature is big as shit.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it looks like it's got some terrain and things like that too. Is that the case?
Well, yeah, it comes with like the terrain for a bar, like some barrels and some tables and stools. And
yeah. That's what I'm looking at. I wish they'd let me see a bigger freaking picture, like blow that picture up, because it doesn't tell me.
Well, maybe
anything.
tomorrow, if you stream and I wake up, I will show you. I'll open the box I opened it and showed it off a little bit, and it's just like 100 miniatures in a plastic thing, like tons, like everything you can think of. Picks, armed with multiple weapons, pirates, guards, apes, ghouls.
Yeah. It's out of stock. Son of a bitch! I would have bought it right now. It says it has the impressive miniature content of the famous King Pledge from our Conan board game.
If you ever bought the Conan board game, which I've bought like 3 of, it has all of those miniatures. And the reason I bought so many of those box sets is Oathmark, right? I made a human army for Oathmark, but it's all picks. So it's all these savage kind of primitive caveman looking dudes with axes and bows.
Yeah, 255 miniatures, Valeria, Zalata.
There's 2 Balettes. There's a number of Conans. Oh,
well, I will just have to come back later when they're restocked, because that looks cool.
Holy Diver, have you ever seen In the Mouth of Madness?
No, what's that?
It's a horror movie, In the Mouth of Madness, where like the one guy has to hunt down a writer named Sutter Kane, and everything Sutter Kane writes is coming true. And the main character is the same guy that played the Doctor in Event Horizon.
Sam Neill in that one. So you got John. Yeah, I have not seen this. I don't even think
It is an amazing movie. But what the reason I asked is I have the Sam Neill miniature where he's got the wood axe, because he does kill that one nerd with the axe. Because the nerd's like, "Do you read Sutter Kane?" And he looks at him, and the nerd's got like octopus eyes, so he splits his wig with an axe. And yeah, I love that movie. I watch it. It's one of those. It's part of the. It's The Thing, Mouth of Madness, and then The Prince of Evil. I think the one where like the devil's actually like a green material that's held in like a glass cylinder under a church, and it has a lot of the same actors as like in Big Trouble in Little China. Like the guy that played Egg is in the third one. So who is that? Michael Crichton? I think it might be Michael Crichton's trilogy. He made like a trilogy of weird movies, and that's kind of the three.
I'll have to watch that one. It's called In the Mouth of Madness. The most recent horror movie I watched was there's two of them actually. There's Tales from the Dark Side 1990. They're both from 1990, and The Class of 1999.
I never even heard of that.
It was a sequel to The Class of 1984, and this is about cyborg teachers. They did this before Terminator 2, mind you, which is good, that are basically put into Detroit to educate gang members. And then the two gangs figure out it's the teachers killing everyone, and then it gets really it's kind of it kind of gets you get all the horror elements at the end because it's kind of like a school drama, so it's like kind of a messed up version of Saved by the Bell until the very end, with gang violence until the very end. But they figure out that it was the teachers. It's the teachers killing everyone. Oh shit, we got to work together. And the gang.
I remember. You remember that movie where they were all in school and the teachers were aliens?
Yeah, The Faculty.
Huh?
The Faculty.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. I thought that was kind of cool. It had the dude from the second Terminator, I think, as like one of the faculty guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I know about The Faculty. That's a good one too.
Right. Last night I watched Evil Dead, and out of interest, at the very beginning, when the blonde guy says, "Ash, where are we at?" and Ash is looking at the map, and he's like, "Oh, we just crossed the border of Tennessee, right?" So I immediately had to look, because I'm like, are they going to Kentucky or from Kentucky? I know they're from Michigan. And it turns out that the cabin that they filmed the movies in, because they filmed both of the Evil Deads in it, is about 25-minute drive from my house, but it burnt down. And it's on private property near like Middleborough. And so they don't like anyone going out there, but people go out there and try to steal like parts of the foundation or the chimney.
Oh, that's annoying.
But I'm all like,
I supposedly I live about 25, 30 minutes away from the famous rock in the Star Trek original series and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the second movie. The Gorn, you know where he fights the Gorn? That's like not far from where I live. Unfortunately, that big rock, that famous rock formation, has been spray painted to hell and back with a-holes just ruining it.
Yeah. We have a rock at the mouth of Parley's Canyon. I call it the Painted Rock, but that's all people do is they go up and they paint murals on this little rock. You have to climb it on this little rock just in the mouth of the canyon where the river splits and goes underground, because we sank the entire river and we diverted its flow and we sank it beneath the roads. And it runs. It's supposed to hook up to the Holiday and sugar house irrigation system and stuff like that. And but they also take the water from it to give us drinking water. But yeah, that's one of those little things there. We got a painted rock too.
We have a whole town that's underwater, and when the lake is really low, you can see the old train tunnel, and they say sometimes you can see some of the buildings because Lake Cumberland near Burnside is artificial, and Burnside was originally in the valley, and they decided to make Lake Cumberland. So everyone who owned houses in Burnside had to move to the top of the hills, and then boom. And the Cumberland River averages around 300 to 400 foot deep. So it's a very deep river.
That is a deep river. I can't even think of a lake here being that. We don't have anything that deep. You know how deep the Salt Lake is? Try 6 to 15 at best. Try 3.5 to 15 max. Well, 3.5 feet deep.
The thing with the Cumberland River is it's winding between hills. So you know what I mean? It's like that. It's like when you go to Cumberland, which I do to fish sometimes, it's just slopes down to the lake or down to the river. It's like boom, you know. And
here's a good one.
Set up.
I gave my mom this Jeopardy question. We were sitting there, and she gets the Army of the Cumberland, but doesn't get the Army of the Potomac. The Union had 2 armies, and they were both named after a body of water.
Right.
The second army was the Army of the Cumberland. The primary army that went against Lee in Virginia was the Army of the Potomac.
Right. It was the Army of the Potomac against the Army of Virginia or whatever.
And what's his name? I can't remember. Sherman was in the Army of the Cumberland.
Yeah, that makes sense since he did burn his way all the way down through Tennessee and Georgia.
Then, the overall commander, the guy who was placed in charge, would be U.S. Grant.
Right. Originally, the Union forces had a general named Burnside, and Lincoln hated his ass and they had McClellan, and Lincoln hated him too.
McClellan and Ambrose Burnsides would be replaced by overall by Sherman and I can't remember. We just said Grant.
Right.
McClellan he wouldn't fight. He just wouldn't fight. But I'd say like if I had to choose a general to lead in World War I, I'd like, please let it be McClellan. He's like we're assaulting that. No, we don't have the supplies, and we don't have the artillery we need. We're gonna have to wait. I'm sorry. Yes, let's wait before buggering off with the big push. Thank you, little Mac. You're not throwing us away. And that was
Lincoln's biggest complaint was he said, if I gave McClellan 1 million men, he'd write me a letter and ask for another 1 million.
That's true.
But the thing that and it's kind of horrible if you kind of think about it, the reason Grant got promoted was because he wasn't afraid of getting his men killed.
Yeah.
He was willing to sacrifice his soldiers for objectives. And that's kind of horrible if you think about it when you consider, I mean, I don't know where you sit on it, but I do know that my team killed like twice as many of the blue guys as they killed of us.
Lincoln was also running on a timeline that was behind the scenes. There was 2 things that never really come up in the history books. In Mexico, what?
Sorry, just 2 things.
So yeah, there was a rather sizable French army hanging out in Mexico, and there was a rather sizable British army hanging out in British Columbia,
right,
which is right over the border from the Lake States,
right, Canada.
Yeah, there was a rather sizable British army just kind of hanging out there, and so if they could keep the South on the defensive I think Lincoln kind of understood that the Europeans, they would be, they wouldn't be able to. They had to have an opportunity, and Lincoln's whole strategy kind of revolved as commander in chief by not giving those two armies an opportunity.
Right.
First off, I don't think the French would have made it through Texas. I think the Texans and the Indians would have eaten them.
Yeah, back in that day, you had that big Comanche country down there.
Well, the Comanches fought. There were a lot of Comanches in the Texan ranks.
Right. A lot of Cherokee. The whole Cherokee Nation fought for the Confederacy.
Yeah. So there was that, and so I think that. So you had the French down south waiting for an opportunity. You had the British up north waiting for an opportunity. And another thing that stayed their hand was probably the onset of ships like the Monitor, the Merrimack, and the first ironclad vessels. That just totally made the entire. When we started to push those off of the assembly line, it made the entire British Navy, the greatest navy in the world, completely obsolete until they would go on like 25 years later to make the first dreadnoughts.
Right. Because it's like, okay, bring your little wooden ships up, bring your little frigates up here against this bitch. Your guns will bounce off. But, you know, another reason you may not know, which is not a glorious reason maybe, is that one of my countrymen, Cassius Clay, spent the entire Civil War in Europe convincing them not to be involved. And then he ended up getting sent to Russia to be the American ambassador to Russia as well, mainly because he had killed so many men in duels that the government kind of wanted him gone. And he was a hardcore abolitionist, even though his dad owned slaves. I forget what his middle name is. So like Muhammad Ali, who was born Cassius Clay, gave up the name Cassius Clay to be Muhammad. Cassius Clay spent his whole life trying to end slavery. Muhammad owned slaves.
Yeah.
So it's kind of really weird, but he was born in Kentucky, decided that he didn't like slavery. And then pretty much, I guess, back in those days, if you had a disagreement with somebody, it was like, I'll see you tomorrow. And there
was really only one way out of that. You said, well, if it's to be pistols or swords, I'm too poor, I don't own any. And that's how you that was your one weasel out. Like, I'm not at your level to even own a pistol,
do
sir.
You know who the fat electrician is?
Never heard of him.
He does history, and it's good. And he does about Cassius Clay, and he talks about Cassius Clay was considered the most dangerous duelist in North America. They tried to assassinate him a couple times. At one point, someone attacked his house, and he had a cannon on the landing of his stairway, fired a cannon at him, and then fired his pistols, fired a musket, and then fixed bayonet and charged down the staircase and killed people with a musket. He was like 80 years old when he did that. Like, the guy couldn't be killed. I mean, you know, he was shot and stabbed so many times, he just kept living.
That's how you do, yeah.
And he eventually died at like 90-something, and the cause of death was exhaustion. That's just what they wrote. Exhaustion. He's tired. When his dad died, his dad gave him the plantation, and he freed all the slaves, even though it would have cost him in today's money like $400,000 or something. And he had a speech where he'd be like, if you believe in God, and he'd put a Bible on the table, this is why we shouldn't have slaves, right? And if you believe in the law, and he'd put the Constitution on the table, this is why we shouldn't have slaves. And if you believe in neither, he'd put his pistols on the table and say, this is why we shouldn't have slaves. And like, people were like, oh, that guy. And of course, he had to be from Kentucky, as was Jefferson Davis and Abraham Lincoln, who grew up less than 100 miles apart. And Kentucky was the 13th flag on both, or 13th star on both flags. It was 13th star in the Union flag and
13 stars in the Confederacy. Yeah. I always thought, what's his name? Jefferson Davis was from Mississippi.
Nope. Kentucky.
Kentucky.
And
Did he live in
like I have the
Mississippi?
flag around here, the blue flag with the red cross and stars. That's the Orphan Brigade. And they were all Kentucky soldiers when Kentucky fell to the Union. They didn't surrender. They just went to Tennessee and kept fighting. So they got the nomenclature of the Orphan Brigade because they didn't have a state. And why do I know this? Because one of my ancestors, Major Thomas McKee, fought for the 5th Kentucky in the Orphan Brigade. So even though my people moved to where I visited, I think I told you this, Diver, when America was still the Crown Colony of Virginia, that part, and where I lived was the Crown Colony of Virginia because they hadn't split the states up. So as far as we dated it back about 1670 is when some people say colonized. I say no, conquered. And the wife and I were talking about when we were driving up there, because she's like, imagine someone came from Europe and then with whatever tools and shit they had decided to cross these freaking mountains and then set up shop. Is like, how tough of a bastard do you gotta be? You know what I mean? Cross the Appalachians, set shop up, not knowing what's even there. Just you got your axe and your musket and your knife and your buckskin clothes and your wife and your 8 kids, and you just freaking do that? That is nuts.
And then you turned on the Oregon Trail, Sim, and little Buck has the dysentery. Little Buck is dead.
Well, we all know you never dysentery. Or gets carried off by a California condor. I think the main thing that the guys who conquered Kentucky had to deal with was hostile Indians. But didn't work out for them. Even though, people
so you're awful quiet there, Shadow.
Have a lot of respect for the native.
I was just dry brushing. I'll show you. I got these couple of 3D printed Robo Dogs
things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scary.
In other news, I wanted to tell you, gentlemen, I'm in YouTube jail. I won't be able to live stream for a little while.
What'd you do now?
Oh, I got flagged for hate speech on my last movie video. It's up on Rumble.
No, you
what
never.
What did you say? What did they tell you? What the hate speech was?
I can only surmise that I made 2 connections. Connection number 1, Donald Trump and Martin Luther King both had a certain juice box in their lives. One was named Stanley Liebeson. The other one was named Stanley Liebeson, and then the other one's name is Netanyahu. And then I kind of said how they both did Epstein adjacent things, and Trump read the Bible one time, and the other one denied the virgin birth and resurrection. That might have been something to do with it, but I made a good point.
It's definitely got something to do with it. You're not allowed to say anything bad about Martin King.
But I made the point.
That's not entirely true. Who was it? Matt Walsh just did a big old freaking video. It's
Matt Walsh. You know who's not Matt Walsh, Shadow? Any of us.
That's what I was getting at is you can get away with all kinds of crap once you get to a certain subscriber count.
Well, yeah. Look at Hassan Piker. That dude gets away with everything.
Hassan Piker, Sniper Wolf, yeah, they get away with it.
They get away with anything they want because
it was my final critique of what I'm seeing in the Odyssey and everything, and I did a film, and I think I did a really good Razor Fist style rant, and so
yeah, I heard that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Most people don't know that Martin Luther King, Marshall was his real name, was heavily involved with the American Communist Party. Like heavily. They used to have meetings at this thing they called the Little Red Church, and it was 100% just communist bullshit.
Yeah.
And now what you said about Trump, I don't know about Trump's involvement with Epstein at all.
I don't know either.
There seems to be no evidence.
I just made. I know if they had evidence, they would have cudgeled him over the head with it in 2015 when he came down the
Exactly. That's what I always say.
No,
You know,
if
if they
not
had
then,
anything on
if
him,
not then, 2020 or 2024.
or anytime,
Yeah, I
if they
just
had
can't
had
picture.
a single stitch of anything on Trump, they would have used that shit under Biden, like for real.
They would have gone at he'd be in Gitmo right now if they actually had it. I just made a joke about teenagers on Epstein Island. You know,
yeah.
he had sex. I'm sure he had sex with an 18-year-old or 19-year-old Miss America at some point because that's how a billionaire playboy do.
Right. My
And
contention was
I would
always
never have sex with an 18 or 19-year-old, but the fact of the matter is, it's legal.
here's the thing. It's if you're ever in doubt of
sucks.
somebody, being like, into that kind of thing, it's really simple. If they look like the kind of person that has to pay to get laid, you can go ahead and like kind of lump them into that category. Most people, growing up, if they, they can't and they have to pay or have some sort of power or something like that, there's a good chance they're probably into that scummy behavior.
I
But
have to pay. Nobody wants me.
well, I here you don't look the part. I'm just going to say that.
I'll take it.
I'm
It's good to
I'm
feel
pretty
happy
sure
for
if you
Apple.
kept your mouth shut, like for the first couple of dates, you probably would. But after that, you're going to open your mouth. You're going to say
Oh,
something.
don't let Diver trick you. That guy.
I
he's
know.
had
He,
it.
he goes over to
I've
Japan.
seen pictures of was that lady your ex-wife or something? The one that passed? I'm sorry to bring up. Yeah, Diver's just talking shit. This guy gets women.
Well, no, like the dating market now, guys, this is subject for a different day. I've read, I did that review of where I was on, what do you call it? I went on that dating website. Zero. I got absolutely like zero, unless there's some memes floating around on Instagram where this guy, he's got the woman's just a little too big and he's in the bed next to her. It's those Wojaks.
Yeah.
And the song is always Requiem. Dun, 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 dun.
Well,
but it's a different game. But yeah, if you guys get a chance, don't forget to share that link on Rumble for the video. It's called The Odyssey, The End of Heroic Cinema.
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't watch it. I will watch it if it's still up.
Yeah. Oh, it's on Rumble.
Well, it's on Rumble. So, I mean, on Rumble, you can do anything.
On Rumble, you just have to have an ad blocker. Otherwise, I mentioned on Instagram, you're going to get inundated with boner pill.
Dude, that's every time I try to watch Facebook. It's like hymns for men, hymns, gold hymns, blue hymns.
Oh, I thought hymns grows your hair.
Yeah, well, apparently it gives you boners too. And the new gold hymns not only gives you a boner, but makes you horny, like mentally. And I'm sitting here like, I don't need any of this shit. So I'm a little offended that they keep showing it to me.
There was that Aqua Teen Hunger Force where Carl's like, come on, Fry Man. They know that I'm small. They just kept playing with my insecurities.
Right? It's like, why does this company keep sending me penis enlarger pills? Like trying to get me to buy them.
You know what?
I mean,
here, I'll rail against the Mike Lee. No, not Mike Lee. What's his name? He was an old senator from my state. Can't remember his name. It's not Mike Lee. God. He was at Orrin Hatch. Orrin Hatch freaking made it legal to sell snake oil. Signed a bill with a couple of Democrats. I think Nancy Pelosi profited from that one. At least, you notice the weird thing is you'll see Newt Gingrich and guys like Orrin Hatch retire, but like Nancy Pelosi and the women are all dying in office. So I look at a woman like Nancy, like, how much money do you need? What keeps you there? Why? And for what purpose? You are 90.
I don't think it's money.
It's really simple. It's not the money. It's the protection.
Well, not only that, it's power. People get addicted to that.
I look at Leslie Stahl. I'm like, why are you still working? You look like the crypt keeper. Retire. Go away.
And the problem is, everyone in America pretty much agrees there should be term limits, but it'll never happen
Oh God, no.
because the people that we want to have term limits are the ones who are in charge, whether they have term limits. So, and they're going to say no.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you end up with that freaking turtle from the great Commonwealth of Kentucky, who did finally retire, I think.
What?
Mitch?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mitch the bitch McConnell.
Being in office
After
since
like
the
four,
Civil War
after
or
four
some shit.
micro strokes and falling down worse than Biden. There was that time where you think he might have crapped his pants. He's like, I'm fine. Or I didn't do, you know.
And like I said, he's been in office since like the Civil War or something.
Yes.
It's like, what are you doing, dude? Get out of
He's
here.
been in office since they had dueling.
Right. Which in the state of Kentucky to this day, if you take a public office, you have to make an oath that you have not, nor will you ever duel a man. And I'm pretty sure they made that law because of Cassius Clay. Run around shooting people and shit. They tried to sue him for a guy shot him to try to assassinate him, but it hit his Bowie knife. And, the Bowie knife had a metal sheath and it was in his coat. So he went after the guy with his knife, stabbed him a bunch of times in the guts. And then the dude's friends threw him over a 7-foot stone wall to get him away from Cassius, right? So then later, this guy thought it'd be a good idea to sue Cassius Clay in Ohio, I believe. And Cassius Clay called his cousin, who was an attorney, Henry Clay or something like that, right? They showed up to the courthouse, and when the judge asked for the defense, the lawyer said, that's just how we handle shit in Kentucky, Your Honor. And the judge threw the court case out. The judge's like, all right, get out of here. It's like,
Boys,
what the hell?
boys,
We just stab people in Kentucky when they shoot us. As a stupid lawsuit. Well, I shot him, Your Honor, but I'm really upset that he ran me down and stabbed me with this knife. It's like, what kind of lawsuit is that?
You know what? It's a good series of movies that I've just been enjoying the hell out of. The Death Wish movies.
Oh, those are all classics.
Charles
I just
Bronson,
saw. What was his name? Getz, the guy from New York. I just saw a thing on him on TV. I think that's going to make a big comeback. The guy who shot those guys on the subway in New York.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Bernie Getz. Blue Oyster Cult actually wrote a song
amazing.
about his ass.
If you think
my favorite band, they actually wrote a song about him.
Right. But you had Charles Bronson, who was already an amazing actor. And then he always had some kind of exotic gun. And he showed up in the neighborhood.
The gun he was using was just, I think it was just it wasn't a 38 special. I think it was just using it was a magazine. It had a magazine and it was a 38 is what he was using. It wasn't anything special.
And he'd show up in a neighborhood and then proceed to kill like a shit ton of gang members.
Well, so the one I saw was in this one, they like got his daughter, they got his housekeeper, and then they called New York and they're like, you don't think he's going to do that thing he did in New York where he shot those hoods on that subway car, do you?
Yeah, right.
But like, how messed up would it be if you had some, I don't know, some 90-year-old Korean War veteran just burn three questionable melanin deficient guys on the subway for trying to rob them, and they got it on the camera, but they keep trying, and it's right there, like as bad as Irina Zaruska. Like they pull a knife on him, and he just burns all three of them, like they weren't even there.
See, the funny thing is, you could never have that show in Kentucky or Florida, because the second somebody tried some shit, somebody'd shoot them. That'd be the end of the movie.
That'd be the end of the movie. But I'm just sitting there thinking like that. I'm waiting for that to happen on a New York subway where you got some guy who's like 89 years old and he's like, what are you going to do? Throw me away for life? And just flip the bird to the judge?
What happened once? I forget. I'm back. Yeah, some guys tried to rob some old dude on a subway, and he gunned down 3 of them, I think.
Well, I'm talking like modern day, right now.
Oh,
Well, if
In
it's
New
New York, he's gonna fry. That's just the way it is. It doesn't matter how in the right you are. We've already seen that happen numerous times.
well, they let that Marine go, so that was good.
Daniel Penny, yeah,
They did
I-
really. I didn't hear that.
Yep, he
they
walked.
let him
Of
go.
course,
but
everyone
it's still
accused
they
him of
tried to fry him
racism.
to a
But,
crisp there, you know.
Okay, maybe they threw us a bone, I guess. But
Chad, I'm gonna
every
show
time I
you
turn
something.
around, it seems like uh, the powers that be are trying to make it more and more. Uh,
Chad,
yo,
I'm going to show you something. I want to ask you if you know where I got the inspiration from. There he is.
no, jeez.
It's a troll. I painted him up like the Hulk.
yeah. It's kind of a no-brainer there, man.
I'm
We
sorry. I
used
just amused myself to no end.
it's funny that you do that because back in the early days of the channel, Jackie and I were painting monsters all the time and stuff. And my son's like, "Why do you always paint everything purple and green?" I'm like, Marvel Comics. You had Mysterio, you had Kang the Conqueror, you had the Hulk, you had the Green Goblin. It's just contrasting color scheme, and it just looks great together. We did Martians, we did Cthulhu shit. Just every time we turned around, I was painting something purple and green. And I'm not a big fan of green, but now that's a little darker, I can show you this thing I showed you earlier, but now you can see it better. Okay, check this out. You see this tiny little ball, right?
Yeah.
Magic trick, magic trick.
Oh yeah. You were saying you were going to make like lights for your little dungeon thing, right?
No,
Oh
it's
no, it's the hologram.
is
Oh,
that
that's
freaking
cool.
3D printed. It was like $12 for both of them, plus a little shipping. It's a hologram table, and
Why is Jackie going to run some sci-fi stuff or what?
that's all he's been running. He says
Really?
he's playing D&D, but it's more a sci-fi role playing game.
Does he have his own group that he's running with?
Oh yeah, he's got like 9 kids, dude.
Oh, that's
Mostly
awesome.
girls. Mostly girls. Yes.
Oh, so he's a chip off the old block. See, I'd have to pay for a woman to come out and play. That's what
I don't know what you mean, but I'm proud as can be. Wait till you see his new car, freaking nicest car the Shadow family's had. That I know of. He's going to do really well when he starts going to college next year, pulling up, stepping out. All dressed, the way he dresses. He's definitely going to attract some weirdo chick, bring her home, and I'm going to be like, about damn fucking time. Excuse my French, but swear to God, dude, 14 years old, I was freaking dating already. The kid's almost 18, never been on a date.
What?
I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
I don't know, man.
No, I won't keep my mouth shut. I never dated till I was 18.
Really?
I was the
Really?
biggest nerd in high school you can imagine. 140 pounds, 5'8", just fucking a greasy little bastard. Then I joined the Army, started eating a lot and working out all the time. I got 6'1", 180, muscle, and I got enough confidence to marry a whore, which didn't work out for me. I didn't know she was a whore, but she proved she was a whore. And I had to do that a couple times because redheads are my weakness.
Not to brag, but like my freshman year of high school, actually the summer before freshman year through my end of my freshman year of high school, I only dated seniors. And I'm
that
telling
is
you, man,
bragging.
I at the end of that, I swore off older chicks. Just saying,
Look,
I won't do it. From that point on, not that point on, but
and
from a
before you
certain
laugh,
point on,
driver, my parents never taught me about women. So all I had to go on is fantasy books I read. So I assumed all women, especially if they slept with you, it meant they really liked you. And it turns out that's not true.
The only
No,
I,
it's not.
I was spoiled. The only thing I learned so much by watching about female nature just by watching Married with Children and hearing Al Bundy's the character describe it. Like
God,
I literally
was
took that show to heart a lot of times just because like Peg, it's like money now. Hi Al, you know, she was just kind of there and she was annoying. And then he had these kids. He
well,
didn't
she was annoying, but I always had a thing for Katie Seagal. I don't know why. Something about her, the way she dressed.
she was supposed to be frumpy. She was supposed to be. They always, but Kathy Seagal dolled her up. She did she get the
Uh-huh.
makeup, and she's like, you know, I'll just doll her up. I'll jazz her up, and I'll give her a little
Uh-huh.
bit like, oh hi Al, you know, hey.
I mean every she looked like, you know, all of the more popular girls, I'm going to say, in my high school, with the animal print, the zebra, the cheetah, the tiger stripes, whatever, gigantoid freaking high heels, big hair, the whole bit, man. That was, you know, every girl I grew up with in high school.
I just wish, you know, I could meet somebody who put in just half the effort because that's another thing, you know. It's you got a bunch of tattoos, piercings. That's kind of a turn off. Like, I understand you have one or two tattoos, but when you're like mutilating your face and then you know, like there, but
the
you know, like
septum piercings are right
the
out.
septum piercing is getting annoying. Everybody's got a ring through their nose.
Well, that's so they can recognize each other. They do that shit on purpose.
Yeah, but I
Not
mean,
that's not a fashion statement. That's so
I
a
mean,
bunch of weirdos know who each other are.
but back in our day, we just had the left right ear piercing. That was enough. You know what I mean?
Look, back in my day, Shadow, if she had dyed hair and piercings, it meant she was going to be a lot of fun.
You're not wrong. You're not
That
wrong.
shit changed somehow. When I used to be
Yeah,
on
I think
the
it
goth
changed in the
scene
90s.
heavy, I mean, that was the girl you wanted to hang out with at the club because she was DTF. You know what I'm saying? Now they're a bunch of crazy man haters. I don't even know what they're thinking.
Well, they're not thinking. They're just listening to people who have, you know,
Right.
more money than sense and more connections than anyone has a right to.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I'm just saying things changed. They do though.
Oh
And
yeah.
I do agree though with Diver about if you're going to date a lady, especially if she's like in her 30s, if she's covered in tattoos, that's kind of that might be a red flag.
Well, there comes a time like, okay, you know, I think we have the veil of adolescence that's the blanket is extended too far. Like we got to cut them off at 22 or something like that. I moved out. I moved out when I was 22. I bought my first house and it was time, you know. I did, you know, this sounds so bad. I bought my first house and I was making $13 an hour. It was 89.
No.
It was $76,000 on a condo, and of course my sisters were realtors. I got lucky. I got really lucky in that department. But
I'll say.
That's another thing, you know. I mean, like how much have we eroded the currency away? So, you know, like, okay, you can't move out anymore when you're 18, not unless you're living with 6 other people in a 2-bedroom, and
Yep.
there's triple beds in each room, and that's what is that? That's 9 butts on the toilet minimum daily, you know.
Wow.
Well, I bought my house when I got out of the army. But when I was in the army, I was pretty much a barracks rat and never spent any money. Plus the year and whatever in the Gulf, I didn't spend any money. So I came back and found a house I liked, and I got all the veterans GI stuff. So I lucked out that way. But also, what you're saying, though, I mean, the house price was not very much. And the dollar was worth more. Let's be honest, it was just worth more,
Oh yeah.
and you know, um, so it worked out for me. But yeah, I was really like the biggest nerd. Like if you watch Revenge of the Nerds, pick the nerdiest of the nerds, and that was me throughout high school. I was the nerdiest nerd. Not Lamar either. He's way cooler than I was. Like I didn't talk to women. I played D&D with my nerdy friends, and I got picked on, and I got in a lot of fights because I got picked on so much. And then before I turned 18, my parents signed me over so I could join the army.
Yeah.
And so I went in like a couple months before 18. I was like 17, and the army changed everything about me, you know. Now the good news, I grew up so hard that like infantry training was easy because where I lived in Kentucky, I mean, we didn't have like running water, and we walked all over the place, and we were always hunting shit. So most of the shit they wanted to teach me, I was like, yeah, I've been doing this my whole life. You know what I'm saying? But I think what really changed though was just the constant working out, just constant. And I was kosher at the time. So I did not eat pork and worked out nonstop. And in the course of maybe 6 months or a year, I grew at least 3 or 4 inches, which a man will, that late growth spurt you get. But
God, I wish I got one.
yeah, when I
Yeah,
say
I've literally been 5'10" since I was 14.
crazy, I was a solid 180. I was so big that every time we did weigh-ins, they had to measure me. The medics come over and measure your neck and your chest and your biceps and shit. And then they'd be like, this guy's BMI is excellent. Because you're only supposed to weigh like 160 at 6'1". So I was already 20 pounds overweight. You know what I mean? But then I also had the guns, I was putting up like 350 on the bench, doing all that shit. And it was like, that's what changed me, actually. That's what made me an adult, I guess, a grown up. And then, as much as it hurt going through it, I do have to thank my 2 evil redheaded ex-wives because they taught me about women. I didn't learn the first time because I'm a stubborn guy. But then the redhead Puerto Rican, the Latina, she really drove in the lesson. And so then I just did my own thing, got to be myself, and then I eventually ran into my little Danish bride, and we've been together almost 25 years.
That's how it's supposed to be. But yeah, we'll see. It's not over for me yet. That's what they keep trying to tell
Oh,
me.
you're a young man.
I wish.
I mean, I'm 55.
How old are you? How
bro.
old are you, HT?
I was born in the 80s. The late 18, as the Zoomers call it, the late 1900s.
Whoever does, right? Right, poor. See, except
That's
poor
okay.
Orc Child's got a hottie. He's doing good. So I don't know what he's talking about, but
Well, all right, gentlemen. I'm going to cash in my chips and finish my Death Wish movie. It's got about 15 minutes left in it. Thanks for
yeah,
having
I've
me
got a
on.
hamburger waiting.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was.
I will,
nice.
Cal. Just give me a second here. I'm painting up my copy.
All
Check
right.
out the Discord
Take care and God bless.
Take care, Holy Diver. I will see you
Holy Diver, always a pleasure,
Sunday at the
sir.
very least.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night, guys.
You
Take
too.
care, guys.
And Shadow, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow if I wake up.
I hope so. It's always a pleasure having you on.
And but I'm gonna go eat my hamburger and maybe go to bed.
I'm going to finish painting this dog and then, I don't know, see what's going on downstairs.
You're gonna be like, can I pet that dog? I want to pet that dog. You ever seen that? It's like this really southern, like young girl, and there's a bear in the yard. And the little girl's like, I want to pet that dog. And the mom's like, you can't pet that dog. She's like, but I want to pet that dog. And it's a black bear hanging out in the backyard.
No, I'm turning these robos into, you can see it better now. into cop dogs.
Okay. Cop
They're gonna be
dogs.
blue and gold to go with my robots and vehicles for Jackie's game, so that he's got uniform sort of police units that he can throw at his players.
So if
Intergalactic
somebody
fleet.
messes up, it's gonna be like, bad boys, what you gone? What you gone?
Yeah, I think the next game they're he's running a bank heist. So I'm like, oh, better have some cops. Have some more
That
cops.
was the worst part of being in jail.
Hearing that song every freaking day, nonstop, because
Because the
that's all
guy
they want to
who
play.
owned the remote, who was a big dude that I wasn't fighting with, just put cops on, and it was every freaking day. And I would sit there. I was on C, which is for violent offenders on 33rd Street up in Maitland. And the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, why would criminals want to watch cops? Are they trying to find if they're on it? I mean, what's going on here, right? But that's all they want to watch. Now,
Multiple theories on that. Multiple theories on why that would be a situation.
Shadow, look up for a second before I go.
Dogs.
They're not dogs. Look again.
Cats?
Yep.
Like Cats of Uther?
Exactly, my man, Shadow, my man. I'm so happy you got that.
Dude.
I put the Cats of Uther in Cormarium. In the city of Cormarium is absolutely against a lot of harm of cat, and as a result, there's cats every freaking where.
I know my Lovecraft. I'm just I need a break from things every once in a while. You know how that gets.
I know. But I mean, I'm impressed and freaking like stoked. I'm like, look at this guy. And that's kind of a deep cut because that's Dreamlands. And a lot of people don't read Dreamlands.
Oh, you know Silver Key, man. The Silver Key got me through my stint in juvie like nothing else, man.
Right. And that's not really his most popular stuff, but in my opinion, it's some of his best.
But that's all his Lord Dunsany influence. You could see it just.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, the whole Cthulhu mythos is kind of based on, I think, the Lord Dunsany thing where he talks about the different gods of Pomora or some shit like that. And, and like the main god was always like stupid and sleeping. And then you had a god of death and you had all, and it's like a poem he wrote. But the gods he talks about kind of, good evening, Big James, kind of line up almost 1-to-1 with the elder,
the Nodens
that Lovecraft talks about.
Nodin or the Nodens?
Well, Nodin is an Irish god.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Nodin was the Celtic god of the sea, and for whatever reason, Lovecraft, as he does, just decided to stick him in and make him the arch nemesis of Nyarlathotep. He also is the guy who runs all the what are the black flying things that don't have a face?
The Bakey?
Not the Bianchi. They don't have a face. They got horns but no face, and they'll tickle you.
Night Gaunts?
Huh?
Night Gaunts?
Yes. Nodens is like the Lord of the Night Gaunts. For whatever reason.
I've got a couple of really cool Night Gaunt miniatures from what was it? RAFM made some great old timey Cthulhu miniatures. Back in the day. I've got like all the old classics. The Grenadier. I got both Grenadier sets and just a crap ton of that stuff. But unfortunately, all 25mm scale doesn't go well with my modern minis. So I have to pull out the Cthulhu Wars. You should really look into that with your love. The Cthulhu Wars has got so many great minis you could use for your Hyperborea game. I'm telling you, man. And cheap. If you go to AliExpress, you can find them like dirt cheap if you don't mind, buying from China and buying,
Right. Well, the thing is about the Cthulhu situation is I bought Mansions of Madness 2nd edition and all of the expansions, including the first edition expansion that helps you convert to second edition.
Okay.
So I have literally shit tons of Cthulhu monsters, every kind you can think of.
Yeah, but you have the
And I
HP
paint them.
Lovecraft.
I've got all the characters too. Like, where is he? I don't know where he is, but I've got like the character I always play, who is a black dude that plays a bugle. Jim Carver. I've got Ashcan Pete and his dog, and so yeah.
I'll find you the link, but there's
Drop it to me, man.
There's a in the game. There's an HP Lovecraft bust. It's only about yay high, but it's kind of awesome. You could use it as a statue, of somebody, But there's also a set of like 6 of the Elder Gods that all came in glow in the dark plastic.
Oh, that's cool too.
You guys know me, glow in the dark. If it glows in the dark, I want it.
I mean, HP Lovecraft actually lives in Zimbala. It's telling me it's time to go. Yeah, the city of Zimbala in the north. HP Lovecraft lives there. He's a librarian at the Mages Guild, and the players have actually met him.
That's cool.
So, anywho, thank you for joining me, Shadow. I will catch
Always
you
a pleasure, brother.
and everyone else too.
Indeed, and I'm going to go check and see what Cal messaged me because I'm sure it's important.
Yeah.
Or at
Cal
least
is a man of few words, but they are important.